At the beginning of the story, this guy introduced himself as Yu Huinsen, an online story writer. Tomorrow is the last day of the script submission deadline and he still can't think of anything to write. Too bored, he opened his phone to surf TikTok and saw a strange application appeared on his phone. What is this? Is it a game? He doesn't remember when he downloaded the app. One day, gates and dungeons suddenly appeared and then monsters spread everywhere. Humanity faced a terrifying disaster. However, thanks to the appearance of hunters with awakened supernatural powers, those disasters have become opportunities. New energy and materials can be obtained in dungeons by hunting monsters. Has created a new ray of hope for people. Hunters are classified from G level to SSS level depending on each person's abilities. However, a G-level awakened person will not be much stronger than a normal person and it is very rare for a hunter's level to change after being evaluated. A girl was standing quietly looking at the hero image poster, then she looked back at her evaluation paper. This was her 10th time. She understood that no matter how hard she tried to practice, she still couldn't escape the B+ life. At this moment, someone came from behind to talk to her. She immediately fantasized that maybe she was too famous. The person who came was the writer Yu Huinsen. Right at this moment he also received a phone call. After looking at the phone number, he happily ran somewhere else to answer the phone. Then the other girl was also informed that number 49 Songmiri should go to the evaluation room. After a while, the evaluation session ended. Songmiri looked at the paper and realized it was still only a B+ level. Still the same, she cannot pass this level to become an A-level awakened person. Then a notification appeared on her phone in her hand. An A-rank horned bull monster appears in Seoul, requiring assistance from A-rank hunters or higher. At the same time in Seoul, reporters reported live that a horned bull monster was destroying the city. There have been no sightings of hunters around yet. It was an A-class monster, it alone could destroy the entire city. In the chaotic crowd, there was also the presence of writer Yu Huinsen. He is taking his niece and fleeing from this dangerous place. Suddenly his niece tripped and fell. When he turned back to help his niece, a hand of a horned bull monster struck towards Yu Huinsen. Luckily for both of them, suddenly a lightning bolt struck the monster, temporarily immobilizing it, saving both of our lives. The person who came was Songmiri. She continued to cast lightning to attack the horned bull. But after a series of her moves, the monster still seemed unharmed. It just roared and then hit the ground with its legs. But the ground quickly cracked, the aftershock caused Miri to be pushed back far away. The power of an A-rank monster wasn't something a B-rank hunter like her could stop. Songmiri asked Yu Huinsen to quickly take his niece away from this place. She herself doesn't know how much longer she can stop this monster. Even though she said that, when the monster rushed towards her, Songmiri had no strength to fight back. Songmiri suddenly remembered the past. The day her parents were murdered by those monsters, she also swore she would never forgive them, as if she was given more strength. Miri seemed to turn into a different person. At the same time, a voice rang out from inside her head. Suddenly her power skyrocketed, energy radiating from all over her body. A powerful lightning strike hit the monster, spreading lightning throughout the city. She successfully destroyed the monster. Later, countless people and reporters came to the scene to interview Miri. They were surprised that a B-rank hunter could destroy an A-rank monster. Even she herself was surprised at what she had just done. Her strength just now seemed like her body had surpassed its limits. The writer Yu Huinsen also brought his niece to thank Miri and then killed her. Luckily she saved my life, otherwise they wouldn't know what to do. Miri suddenly realized, wait, how does this guy know her real name? Everyone only knows her by the name Loi Hao. Miri suddenly realized that the voice that rang in her head earlier belonged to this guy Yu Huinsen. Who is he? Night fell. Yu Huinsen was standing on a bridge, a place famous for suicides. This afternoon he was close to death. It's all because of this damn phone. He raised the phone and was about to throw it into the river. Back to a few days ago, the day he was overwhelmed with ideas and didn't know what to write for tomorrow's submission. Then he turned on the phone and saw a strange application on the phone. He doesn't even remember when he downloaded it. After opening the application, a text welcoming you to the creator appeared in front of Yu Hu-insen. Next is an image of an ant with confusing text. It seems all Yu Hu-insen needs to do is just press the screen and kill that ant. Surprisingly, after he destroyed the ant, a gold coin flew out from inside the phone and hit him directly in the face. A message appears showing that the first player has been defeated, and the reward is a holy bronze. Congratulations on taking another step in your journey to become the great demon king who seeks the source of brutal power. Yu Hu-insen was amazed at what was happening. Could it be that I have awakened the power of a hunter? With excitement, Yu Hu-insen immediately headed towards the hunter's strength measurement center. Registration number 369, Yu Hu-insen. The test results showed that he was qualified to acquire abilities. Yu Hu-insen was surprised, so from now on he can become a hunter. I don't want to go too far, I just need to be a D or E class. He was willing to give up his career as a writer to become a hunter. But life gave him a blow, and as a result, he was a G-rank hunter. The power he tested was the ability to create matter. And a G-rank hunter is not too different from a normal person. And the price to register a hunter's license is $280. He didn't even have enough money to register as a hunter. Maybe I have to go back to continue writing stories. That evening, Yu Hu-insen returned home and continued writing stories, but he kept writing them down and then deleting them. There were no ideas in his head. Bored, Yu Hu-insen turned on the TV. Everything on TV is information about S-rank hunters. From them conquering super difficult dungeons, to them representing a certain brand. These things made Yu Hu-insen extremely depressed. He also dreams of becoming a great hunter, but with his G-rank ability, that's probably just a pipe dream. At 2:22 minutes at night, Yu Hu-insen's phone suddenly rang loudly, waking up from that strange game. This time it's the second ant. After pressing the phone screen, countless golden coins flew everywhere in Yu Hu-insen's room. After a night of fighting with ants, Yu Hu-insen woke up and looked at his phone. At this time, the game announced to congratulate the martial god. You are qualified to open the god store. Even though I don't know what it is, just open it if you can. A light flashed from inside Yu Hu-insen's phone. At the same time in the presidential room, a guy honorably announced to all Korean leaders that their country was extremely honored when someone had just appeared who had unlocked the hunter shop. It is an extremely rare ability that only a few hunters can comprehend. Entering was the S-rank hunter, Kong Yu. The creative hunter has successfully unlocked the hunter shop, and next to it is the S-class prophet Sun Mina who comes to support everyone's cognitive abilities. Then the S-rank hunter Kong Yu demonstrated the process of activating the hunter shop, only to see his hands raised in front of him, straining his arms for a moment and then stopping. Everyone around, including the president, did not see anything happen. One guy explained that only the person who activates it can see it. And next, the prophet Sun Mina will perform psychic skills to help everyone see what Kong Yu just performed. Then in front of everyone, a hunter shop board appeared, containing items such as health potions, an S-rank sword, and an SS-rank thunder god blessing skill. These are all items that only exist in legends. Especially the thunder god blessing skill costs up to 300 million gold, which is equivalent to $30 billion. As expected of an SS level skill. At this time, the Korean president spoke up. The fate of their entire country depends on this issue. So he asked everyone to keep this a secret. They will appoint 2 S-rank hunters to be bodyguards for this hunter Kong Yu. Returning to Yu Hu-insen, the necessary condition to activate the god's store is 100 coins. After Yu Hu-insen agreed, he discovered that a coin on the bed had suddenly disappeared. Yu Hu-insen realized that his abilities seemed to be quite similar to those of S-rank hunter Kong Yu. But he's only G-rank, so the items probably won't be as good as S-rank ones. Inside Yu Hu-insen's store, he saw about 6 items. But all the items are incomprehensible characters. He didn't understand what effect these items had at all. but last night he only earned 372 gold coins. Yet the prices of all these things are 1 million gold or more. So when will I have enough to buy? At this time, Yu Hu Insen's store suddenly changed. The items at this time become different items from before. Wherever an item appears, the price is only 100 gold coins. Could it be that the store wants Yu Hu Insen to buy this? Only after purchasing did Yu Hu Insen know the name of the item. You have purchased the unique powers of the blind god's eyes. Even if you look at the truth, you won't see it. Then Yu Hu Insen's eyes became transparent. After that he couldn't see anything. Has he become a blind man? While searching for his dropped phone, Yu Hu Insen accidentally kicked his right toe on the table. Although quite painful, fortunately Yu Hu Insen's eyes are now back to normal. What's more surprising is that he can now read the confusing characters inside that game. The items inside this god's shop look very beautiful according to their names. There is also a super divine item, exclusively crafted with a value of up to 1,000 billion gold dong. At this time Yu Hu Insen searched for items he could buy. All of these items are extremely expensive. There's only one thing he can buy, that's the god's powerful index finger. He just has to take the risk. After purchasing that skill, Yu Hu Insen used it to turn the air conditioner on and off without using the remote. Then use your index finger to turn on the TV. It seems that this skill, according to Yu Hu Insen's assessment, is a universal remote control. Yu Hu Insen then stood in front of his laptop, launching the magic index finger move towards it. But as expected, it cannot automatically write scripts. At this time, Yu Hu Insen's phone rang. The caller was the guy in charge. As soon as he answered the phone, he immediately praised Yu Hu Insen's new work. This made Yu Hu Insen extremely surprised. He just wrote random things about his experience killing ants in a strange game, but he didn't expect to receive such praise. The guy in charge also asked Yu Hu Insen to quickly send him the next chapters. Yu Hu Insen only had to send them to him 2 days later. Yu Hu Insen did not expect that the nonsense story about the ants would be so well received. So just open the game and start farming these ants, there's no reason to refuse. After a coin piled up, those things merged together to form a coin of 100 coins. That's why, after waking up, Yu Hu Insen only saw a few coins left around him. It turned out that they merged together to form a larger coin. After plowing the country all day, Yu Hu Insen only received 100 gold coins. The price of the lowest item currently in the store was up to 1,000 gold coins. But perhaps it will be more effective than the index finger used as a remote control that Yu Hu Insen owns. After an afternoon, Yu Hu Insen finished killing a few small ants, at which point a red ant appeared. This one seems to be a boss monster as it has the ability to dodge Yu Hu Insen's attacks. He was angry. He had to show this ant his reputation as the god of the game audition. Just like that, Yu Hu Insen played with the red ant until 3 o'clock at night. The amount of gold Yu Hu Insen earned had reached 800. A notification appears that 800 karma has been reached. There are 200 karma remaining until you achieve the title of the Great Evil God, the one who seeks power and destruction. Then, because he was so tired, Yu Hu Insen fell asleep without realizing it. Yu Hu Insen suddenly opened his eyes and realized he was in a movie theater. There was no one around except him. In front of him was a movie screen. The scene on the video was a red ant. It is dragging its body in the hot desert to reach the lair of its kind. In its lair there are countless red ants just like it. That ant announced to all of its kind that a god of the black tribe was trying to destroy them. They will all have to unite and work together to destroy that evil god. Then Yu Hu Insen opened his eyes. The dream just now felt so real. Was it because he had been playing too much that it led to a nonsense dream, or did those ants really exist? When Yu Hu Insen opened his phone, this ant with number 808 seemed to be the one in Yu Hu Insen's dream yesterday. Then he was about to fight this ant when he realized that countless red ants appeared along with ant 808. The most special thing is that the magician ant also appears in the dream. They shouted loudly that nature would stop the devil. Then suddenly a beam of energy shot out from the phone straight into Yu Hu Insen's face. Yu Hu Insen was extremely angry. Unexpectedly, these ants still dared to attack him. Then, in the scene of the ants, he saw countless earthquakes rushing down from the sky to attack the ants. They died so many times that they couldn't count, but outside Yu Huinsen was no longer using his fingers but was continuously punching the phone screen with his fist. After getting over his anger, Yu Huinsen suddenly realized that he had just tortured his phone to the point where the screen broke. At this time a notification appears. Congratulations on receiving the title of Evil God. Then Yu Huinsen noticed the pile of gold coins that had fallen out. Mixed in there was a strange silver ring. When you put it up to your nose, you will feel a strange sense of clarity. Wearing it on your hand, you will feel that your whole body is much more relaxed, all your fatigue and sadness will disappear. Then the blind god's eye skill was activated, successfully appraising the ring. At this time, Yu Huinsen can observe the name and information of the ring. It's called the Reed Ring. The ring worn by the Ant 808 effectively increases the power of the elements. Now Yu Huinsen realized the special feature of the blind magic eye skill. Yu Huinsen then used appraisal on his TV. A detail window appeared. Yu Huinsen's TV was 1 year old. The installment payment deadline is 3 months away, so it still has that effect. But Yu Huinsen realized, with the power of this ring and his own skills, is this really the ability of a G-rank hunter? Perhaps they had made some mistake, so Yu Huinsen decided to go to the appraisal center to recheck. But only the first appraisal was supported by the government. The second appraisal had to pay 158,000 won. Hearing this, Yu Huinsen's face turned pale and he decided not to appraise anymore. Maybe not to waste too much money on this. Yu Huinsen was very excited when he received this ring. But with a cost of 158,000 troops, he can't use it for appraisal. Remember, it's still G rank? Maybe he should still write quickly and put his ideas into writing stories. Yu Huinsen realized that there were many people around him who were also coming to evaluate the hunter's abilities. Is there anyone here who can help him come up with ideas for writing stories? Yu Huinsen then realized that the appraisal skill could also be used on humans. Everyone's basic information appeared in front of Yu Huinsen. But perhaps because it was the cheapest skill, Yu Huinsen could only see half of that information, for example seeing half of the target's name. Then Yu Huinsen realized there was a girl standing in front of a poster. Yu Huinsen realized that there was only one girl whose full name he could see. Her name is Songmiri, she is 19 years old and is in shock. Why is that? Why can only this girl, Yu Huinsen, see the information and whatnot? Having suffered a shock, Yu Huinsen was worried, so he ran up to her and asked her if something was wrong. But looking at the attitude she responded to Yu Huinsen, it seemed like she was someone who didn't like interacting with strangers. Then the phone in Yu Huinsen's pocket rang. The caller was his evil sister. Yu Huinsen immediately ran to a hidden corner to answer the phone. The older sister seemed to be planning to ask her niece Yu Huinsen to help her for a while. Yu Huinsen doesn't understand why his evil sister gave birth to such an adorable niece. Thanks to his appraisal skills, Yu Huinsen learned that his niece was craving a chocolate ice cream cone. He immediately took his niece to the ice cream shop to buy one. Yu Huinsen realized that the employee was giving less ice cream than other people. Could it be that she discriminated because of Yu Huinsen using Sunday money to pay for ice cream? If so, then he has to fight for his personal rights. Yu Huinsen used his index finger. The ice cream machine suddenly seemed to be in full swing, erupting countless amounts of ice cream, filling the entire ice cream cone. After that, the two of us enjoyed ice cream in a corner of the park. It was a peaceful day. But suddenly at this time Yu Huinsen's phone showed up with a warning. The brutal killer title has been activated. Through this activation, the nameless god's fight increased significantly. Then a voice echoed in Yu Huinsen's ears. Whoever walks the path of the great devil, I will devour everything, including the trials you were going through to become a true devil, seen only later. An A-rank monster appeared before the two of us. Next is the battle scene of the horned bull monster. The purpose of its appearance is to devour the god Anonymous. The nameless god is Yu Huinsen's nickname in that strange game. Yu Huinsen realized that he was the cause of that monster's appearance. That almost put his niece in danger. Luckily that girl appeared. Another thing is that when that monster dies, you have passed the challenge. The cruel murderer increases by 1 level. The reward is to buy a low-level god power for free in the store. Everything stemmed from this strange game on the phone. As soon as Yu Huinsen raised the phone to leave, a text message was sent saying Holy Maiden or something. Then there was the scene of a saintess of the ants. She was being chased by a group of red ants. She clasped her hands in prayer. Godless, please have mercy and save our tribe. A message appeared in front of Yu Huinsen. Godless, do you want to rescue the little creature that is desperately begging for your help? Seeing that image, Yu Huinsen seemed to see an image of himself this afternoon, also pleading for everyone's help in vain, in front of that huge monster. Then, when the red ant tried to attack the saintess, he saw a series of energies falling towards it from the sky, causing the red ants to die on the spot. Yu Huinsen successfully rescued the saintess. She wants to know his real identity. After Yu Huinsen entered his real name, the saint appeared to worship Yu Huinsen. At the same time Yu Huinsen received the title of Absolute God. The benevolent savior, Yu Huinsen now possesses the dual titles of Evil God and Absolute God, changing Yu Huinsen's development direction from evil to neutral. The reward is 100,000 gold. Yu Huinsen was amazed at the reward of this title, so he already had 108,000 gold coins in his hand. Let's go shopping. The first thing Yu Huinsen bought was the Lower God's Blessing, priced at 1,000 gold. After use, it will unleash its maximum potential. The more you use it, the stronger you will be. After drinking it, Yu Huinsen felt just like a normal can of energy drink. There was no change in the body at all. Could this be a scam? When Yu Huinsen saw the words that the more you use, the stronger you will be, he decided to buy more bottles of this God's Blessing. After drinking more than a dozen bottles, Yu Huinsen still didn't see anything happening, and suddenly he fainted. At this time, a message appears. Omnipotent assimilation rate increased from 0 to 5%. Yu Huinsen's existing skills have grown based on the assimilation rate. Then Yu Huinsen opened his eyes and saw that he had been at home all along. Yu Huinsen realized there were many red ants around. Their number reached thousands and they were chasing and biting Yu Huinsen. He ran to the door but couldn't open it. The ants kept chasing him from behind. Yu Huinsen had no other choice but to rush towards the window to jump down from here. But as if there was an invisible wall blocking it, Yu Huinsen felt like he was stuck inside this room. The ants are already following closely. They even know how to use bows and arrows. Countless ants shot tiny arrows to attack Yu Huinsen, who was extremely angry. Here, in front of Yu Huinsen is the weapon that can destroy these damn ants. The bottle of insect spray, just a few sprays, to the red ants was like facing the power of a god. The entire army was wiped out. But at this moment Yu Huinsen realized that his body could not move. Was he about to die? At this time, a notification appeared in front of Yu Huinsen. A high-ranking dark god Mong Botan has given you a gift. Yu Huinsen immediately agreed to accept that gift. After pressing yes, Yu Huinsen's fingers suddenly glowed. At the same time, in another place, Song Miri is practicing her lightning skills. She remembered the enormous power she awakened during her battle with that A-class monster. If she could awaken it again, then protecting her parents could be done. Suddenly, from afar, something seemed to be calling her. On Yu Huinsen's side, he scolded him for being a bastard, and after receiving a gift from Mong Botan, nothing changed. Yu Huinsen is trapped in flames. When I tried to raise my index finger, I fell down and fainted. Am I going to die here like this? Suddenly, the wall next to Yu Huinsen was broken. The person who unexpectedly arrived was Song Miri. Yu Huinsen then woke up in the hospital with his whole body bandaged. To the point where the niece didn't realize it and had to use signals between the two of them before she believed that this person was her uncle. Song Miri is standing on the roof of the hospital. She realized that when she was near that man, she could activate powers beyond her limits. She had been observing him for 4 days, still not understanding what exactly he had that made her able to activate that power. At the same time, the saintess of the ant tribe stood in front of all her tribe members. She decided to give her clan's treasure to Yu Huinsen. They wanted to repay Yu Huinsen for rescuing them. With this, she believes that Yoo Insun will become stronger. As for Yoo Insun, his phone informed him that the disciples wanted to offer tribute to you. Is it acceptable? Why don't the temple accept it? Yoo Insun immediately agreed. From the right phone a pink crystal flew out. According to experts, this thing is called the fruit of the world tree. One of the 7 fruits of the world tree, may be good for stamina. Oh, it seems this thing has an effect on the body. Yoo Insun immediately put it in his mouth after using it. Yoo Insun's whole body screamed, clutching his throat, so strong, what the hell was so disgusting? But Yoo Insun quickly realized that the wounds on his body were healing quickly, and his whole body was unusually toned. Yoo Insun did not realize that, behind him, Song Miri was standing on the other side observing all his actions. At this moment, Yoo Insun's phone lit up again. The creator's blessing function was activated. It seems that Yoo Insun can bless his disciples with offerings. If so, what do those ants like? Yoo Insun saw the food on the table. There it was. Then, from the ants' side, countless tiny particles fell like snow from the sky. After they tasted it, it was like they had tasted a delicacy in the world. The wounds of the previous ants quickly healed completely. The amputated arms were also reborn. This was the miracle that the gods bestowed upon them. After this, Yoo Insun received 101 initiations and received 101 faith, one faith corresponding to 100 gold coins. This is so simple. With just a bunch of food, Yoo Insun has gotten countless gold coins. These ants are so cute. Yoo Insun then went to a black market. He walked in and said he wanted to sell some items. Yoo Insun then received a piece of paper and asked to write down the origin of the item he wanted to sell. Yoo Insun was wondering how to write it down. He couldn't write it and receive it when playing ant-catching game. Just because his house caught fire before, now he needs to sell it to have the cost to repair the house. Then countless tall, dark, muscular guys entered the same store as Yoo Insun. He used appraisal on them, receiving an assessment that they were all between 30 and 40 years old and had weak muscles. If they are weak, what is Yoo Insun? Super weak, huh? Perhaps it's just a weak assessment compared to a boss. But then Yoo Insun realized that the armor item that the leader was planning to sell was a waste product. It's just being enchanted to become flashy. It was clearly a fake. The guy selling that assembled shirt is worth 300 million won. Yoo Insun immediately walked over to inform the store owner that the item was fake, advising her not to buy it. Yoo Insun was immediately grabbed by the guys accompanying him. They asked Yoo Insun to prove that what he had just said was true. Otherwise, he would bear the consequences. Then I saw Yoo Insun use his index finger on the armor. Suddenly it returned to a waste state. One of them was so angry that he wanted to beat Yoo Insun. But the leader ordered them to stop and bowed their heads to apologize to Yoo Insun. They did not realize that Yoo Insun was a high-ranking hunter. They would get the hell out of here. Yoo Insun didn't understand anything. Maybe that guy mistakenly thought that Yoo Insun was a hermit. Hermits are people who live in seclusion. They are very strong but only like to live a normal life and not be a hunter. The shop owner thanked Yoo Insun for helping her, but after looking at the ring Yoo Insun was planning to sell, it only had 12 mana and was just a D-rank item. It wouldn't sell for too much money. Yoo Insun was surprised. Could it be that the ant's item was kneeling like that? He used the dare to reposition the ring. Now it has an additional line: you should give it to someone close to you like Song Miri. Is that Loi Hao girl? Why does it make comments like that? At the same time, Song Miri was still following Yoo Insun, watching his every move. She witnessed him being seriously injured then recovering after just a few minutes. That was probably the effect of a high-grade medicine. Where could a G-rank hunter like him get something like that? Perhaps the truth is that he is a high-level hunter, because he was able to find out Loi Hao's true identity. Then there are many good items, and now he even goes to the black market to sell items. Only possible just an anonymous high-level hunter. While she was still hiding, Yoo Insun ran out from inside the store and called out her name. I have something to give you. Then Lihao tested her strength on the roof of a building, 1,000 megapixels. Her strength was now higher than that of an A-rank hunter. That ring amplified Miri's power a lot. She remembered that at that time, Yu Huinsen gave this ring to her and said it would help her a lot. Then he turned around and left without asking for anything. She didn't expect him to give her such a treasure without any regrets. Song Miri's older sister stood above and said that, even if she was an A-level, she would not allow Miri to think about revenge or the like. Even so, Miri still has revenge in her heart. As long as she has the help of that guy Yu Huinsen, she will definitely be able to do it. Returning to Yu Huinsen, he was having a strange dream. In this dream, the red ants from last time came before a man called General Kamakiri. The red ants numbering 5 million vowed to obey his command to kill that nameless god. Then Yu Huinsen suddenly woke up. Was it the dream about the red ants again? But why does Yu Huinsen's room look so shabby? He was so poor that he didn't have money to renovate the room, so he slept in a room where the wall had collapsed in one corner. But based on what he had experienced before, that time he was almost killed by those 100,000 red ants. This time they had 5 million stars. How could Yu Huinsen be able to compete with them? At this time, a message from Mong Votan was sent to Yu Huinsen, asking if you crave power? As long as you sacrifice 100 entities of the same species as you. If you do that, before Mong Votan finishes speaking, he will be blocked by Yu Huinsen. Then the blind god's eye skill activated, and in front of Yu Huinsen was the scene of the great General Kamakiri leading 5 million red ant soldiers. It said that it would personally deal with the nameless god and then offer his head to the great emperor. That was the scene Yu Huinsen had just seen in his dream. The remaining time before the war started was 4 days. At the same time, the saint and 101 followers of Yu Huinsen were also trembling in fear before the empire's attack. Yu Huinsen needed to prepare everything carefully this time. First, Yu Huinsen had to determine his own strength. He stood in front of the bathroom mirror and used appraisal on himself. Success, Yu Huinsen, unexplainable characteristics and a failure. This made Yu Huinsen just stay silent, swallowing his tears. Am I really a loser? Even more bitter is that Yu Huinsen then used the previously accumulated gold to buy a skill with Gehenna's fire. Besides its rather badass sounding name, its main function is as a lighter. Yu Huinsen was introduced that this skill when combined with the god's judgment finger will be effective. Yet when he used it, his finger only turned into a portable lighter. He was fooled again. Yu Huinsen regretted, he should have thrown the phone away when he was on the bridge at that time. Afterwards, Yu Huinsen also received a threatening message from the supervisor. He said it had been a week since Yu Huinsen sent the final draft. If Yu Huinsen does not continue to send the manuscript quickly, he will bear the consequences himself. Due to a house fire, Yu Huinsen also forgot to write the manuscript. He just promised to send the manuscript this week. Next was the process of Yu Huinsen continuing to pour countless vials of the growth god's blessing. He was reading and writing manuscripts at the same time. After an afternoon, the manuscript was finally completed. The Almighty's assimilation rate also increased from 5 to 10%. At the same time, Song Miri held a few cakes in her hand and decided to go to Yu Huinsen's house with the purpose of getting close, after chatting for a while. Song Miri opened the door and walked in. The walls inside were quite dirty. Apart from a huge hole in the wall, Yu Huinsen was nowhere to be seen. So where did Yu Huinsen go? I just saw him walk up to the supervisor and slap a stack of scripts on the table. How? Is this enough for you? The two looked at each other with weak eyes. But it was all just a dream. Actually, Yu Huinsen is being kidnapped. His kidnappers were the 3 people he busted while selling things on the black market. They were surprised because they didn't expect to be kidnapped and this guy Yu Huinsen was still dreaming. Really good. They investigated and realized that Yu Huinsen was just a G-rank hunter. So they kidnapped Yu Huinsen and asked him to pay them back the money that Yu Huinsen destroyed in the black market that day. At this moment, the 4-day countdown has ended. General Kamakiri and 5 million red ants marched out. Yu Huinsen shouted for them to let him go and quickly throw that phone away. But it was too late. From Yoo-hoo Inson's phone, millions of red ants flew out and then quickly ate one of them, so fast that there was no bone left. The remaining two guys thought this was Yoo-hoo Inson's ability, the ability to control bugs. Those two guys immediately threw fire at the ants, then turned around and intended to kill Yoo-hoo Inson. But suddenly the fire player lay on the ground, his head bleeding. It turned out that he was attacked by ants from afar with a catapult. Only one shot to the head caused him to die. The other guy saw that and turned around to run away, but the door could not be opened. Just like when he was at Yoo-hoo Inson's house, the other fat guy was also quickly executed by the ants. Only Yoo-hoo Inson was left, whose arms were cut off by the glare. That guy's fire just now could only kill a few ants, there were still too many of them. The ants stood in front of Yoo-hoo Inson and said, "The evil gods and your subordinates are all dead, now I will kill you and turn you into food for His Majesty." At this moment, from Yoo-hoo Inson's phone, a line of text activated the small effect of the miracle. From the ceiling, a powerful bolt of lightning struck straight down at the ants. The person who appeared was Loi Hao Song Miri. She used lightning to blow away countless red ants, they died like a broken nest. General Kamakiri didn't expect that this guy was capable of summoning such powerful subordinates, he didn't even take action directly. To him, this evil god Yoo-hoo Inson is the leader of evil, the one who will threaten His Majesty's throne. Then that ant knelt down, it prayed for strength, it was willing to offer the heads of all the warriors following it in exchange for strength. It then unleashed a sword, cutting off the heads of all the red ants following it, much to the surprise of Yoo-hoo Inson and Loi Hao. Kamakiri became crazy, its purpose at this time was to drag Song Miri to die with it, it rushed straight towards Song Miri. Her thunderstorm attack was even slashed by the ant, a powerful slash was released. Only to see Song Miri lying on the ground, blood flowing out. The Kamakiri ant then walked towards Yoo-hoo Inson, the evil god of the Black Clan, who also paid with his life. Yoo-hoo Inson gritted his teeth angrily, she was the one who saved him 3 times, but now she was cut to death by this animal right in front of him. From the phone, every line reads, "Yoo-hoo Inson, you are the one who can change the fate of mortals, do you want to use the power of God to change fate? Costs 100,000 gold if available." After Yoo-hoo Inson says yes, the timeline is reversed, Song Miri's fate is successfully changed. Before the ant could launch a slash, Yoo-hoo Inson broke the chain and pulled her back to avoid the fatal slash. Yoo-hoo Inson was no longer patient with this damn ant, only to see him raise his middle finger, God's judgment. The entire warehouse was blown away by an aftershock. The Kamakiri ant exploded and died immediately without having time to say its last words. From inside the ant, Yoo-hoo Inson received a small dagger of unknown effect. Loi Hao was amazed at the strength this man had just unleashed, with just one finger he could blow up the entire warehouse. This must definitely be his master. After that, Song Miri followed Yoo-hoo Inson back home. She also enthusiastically competed with Yoo-hoo Inson to renovate the house. She didn't even hesitate to kneel down and ask Yoo-hoo Inson to help her become stronger. It seemed like she had seriously misunderstood. Yoo-hoo Inson then told her that he was just a G-rank hunter, and that the ring he gave her before was just a coincidence. Even though she said and explained everything, she still stubbornly refused to believe that Yoo-hoo Inson was just a G-rank hunter. After an afternoon, Yoo-hoo Inson's room was also repaired, now it looks much better than having a hole in the middle of the house. At this moment, Song Miri's phone alerted her that a monster appeared, and she immediately planned to rush to that place. Before she left, Yoo-hoo Inson threw her a potion of the God of Growth's blessing, telling her to take this with her and use it. Song Miri was surprised, Yoo-hoo Inson could do that, exactly like the S-level Kong-Yu hunter. Yoo-hoo Inson then went to eat a bowl of level 7 spicy noodles without onions at the restaurant, the news reported hot news. An S-class Drake monster appeared at the gate at the Congress, but luckily a female hunter appeared in time. But it seemed she could only hold off the monster, buying time for the people to escape, and that person was B-rank hunter Loi Hao. Hearing this, Yoo-hoo Inson spit out noodles from her nostrils. What's wrong with her? Why would a B-rank hunter run towards an S-rank monster? At this time in the war, Song Miri was both rescuing people and struggling to avoid the attack of the monster Drake, which was too strong. An S-class monster wasn't something she could face alone, her lightning attack was just scratching the monster's itch. After just one attack, Loi Hao fell to the ground, seriously injured, and a bottle of medicine fell out next to Loi Hao. That was the potion that Yu Hu Insen had given her earlier. After seeing the reporters, the drake changed its attack target. It was planning to fly to attack the reporters behind it. A yellow light radiated like sunlight, only to see Loi Hao's entire body radiating thunder, his advancing power slowly walking towards the monster drake. Then there was a thunderous attack. Yu Hu Insen at the noodle shop watched in surprise. If she is so strong, who needs to be taught? Loi Hao was being interviewed at the scene. How did she feel after defeating an S-class monster? She told Yu Hu Insen, "Thank you, thanks to the potion you gave her, she was able to defeat the monster. Master is the best." Yu Hu Insen is currently at home watching that interview again. The views are up to 2 million. Why is such a famous person sitting at his house eating black bean noodles? Yu Hu Insen asked Loi Hao not to come to his house? Aren't your family members worried? She replied that no one was worried because her family had died in the Nether Dragon incident. Nether Dragons, the whole world has united but still cannot defeat them. They are a horror that has claimed hundreds of millions of lives. At this time, Yu Hu Insen's phone sends a notification. You have been trusted and loved by the target. If the target says the next keyword, you will activate the belief. The main keyword is I trust you, Yu Hu Insen. What's going on? Story game? If faith is activated, will there be countless people like that saint in the future? So Yu Hu Insen just needs to give them the things and receive the gold. Then Yu Hu Insen said to Loi Hao, "Can she repeat what she said? That is, I believe you, Yu Hu Insen." Loi Hao did not hesitate and said, according to Yu Hu Insen, "I believe in Yu Hu Insen," because really for her, it was thanks to Yu Hu Insen that she was able to become as strong as she is now. Yu Hu Insen's phone then informed that the cult had been created. Songmiri was your first believer on earth. Unlock skill sharing. This skill helped Yu Hu Insen to borrow the skills of his followers. The stronger the player, the stronger the skill. At this moment, behind Loi Hao, a tiny black hole opened. From inside, countless tiny grasshoppers holding some offerings were walking closer to Yu Hu Insen. They didn't understand why they had to bring gifts to this nameless evil god of the Black Clan. Meanwhile, Yu Hu Insen is surprised, so he can use lightning magic like Songmiri's? Yu Hu Insen raised his hand, sharing his skills. A bolt of lightning shot out from Yu Hu Insen's hand throughout the room, blowing away the corpses of the grasshoppers without Yu Hu Insen even knowing. Songmiri was surprised that her master could also use lightning magic on her, so she could ask Yu Hu Insen to teach her more about lightning magic. As for Yu Hu Insen, he only cares about one problem right now, which is where to get the money to repair the house now. At the same time, in His Majesty's world, a grasshopper was kneeling before him and reporting. That nameless black god suddenly shot out a bolt of lightning, blowing away the entire group of locusts that were coming to negotiate. It seemed he had no intention of negotiating. His Majesty was extremely angry. He said that in 500 years he had never been humiliated like this, then ordered his subordinates to bring that bastard's head back here to me. The next day, Yu Hu Insen and Songmiri practiced sports together to increase their physical strength. She was able to run 100 laps around the field without using her powers, which was amazing. Yu Hu Insen then continued to give Miri a bottle of strengthening medicine. To him, this bottle of medicine was just like a can of beverage. Drinking it didn't change anything, but it worked for her. Since he had accepted her as a disciple, Yu Hu Insen had to do something for her. And right now the only thing Yu Hu Insen could do was give her this strengthening medicine. Yu Hu Insen thought for a moment, what if he used appraisal to know her abilities, then came up with a suitable training plan? Said and done, Yu Hu Insen activated the eyeless spirit. Suddenly a notification appeared, entering the opponent's mind. Yu Hu Insen seemed to be transported to Songmiri's spiritual world. Inside was a fierce tiger whose 4 legs were tied tightly by iron chains. Yu Hu Insen could see this was Songmiri's true ability, which had been sealed for 10 years by an SS-class binder, so that meant she was originally an SS-class hunter. And sometimes her seal is slightly removed by the god's index finger power, so her full power will be released if the chain is severed. Yu Hu Insen used his index finger, but could only cut a slit of chain around the fierce tiger's body. Song Miri then said goodbye to her master and returned. Just cutting off a piece of iron chain, her strength had already skyrocketed. If she cut it all off, I don't know how terrible it would be. Yu Huinsen returned home, looked at the room with its roof blown off, and felt depressed. On the phone, Mong Votan sent a text message to Yu Huinsen. It was obvious that he had blocked it earlier, so how could he still text me? Then came a guy named Tien Dao Tuet Thiat to bother him. This guy claimed to be the owner of the small sword that Yu Huinsen picked up while fighting the ant. He asked Yu Huinsen to return the sword to him. Then these two guys asked to exchange the other sword with Yu Huinsen. They will give Yu Huinsen 10 million gold coins. That price is not bad. With this 10 million, Yu Huinsen can buy a useful skill and a bunch of medicine for his disciples. After an hour of exchanging, that sword was exchanged by Yu Huinsen for 2 million 2 gold coins. Perk of Infinity Sword in 3 turns to use Tien Dao Tuet Thiat's treasure, and 1 perk of Night Blooming Roses of Mong Votan. First, the rose blooms at night. After Yu Huinsen activated, nothing happened. Mong Votan said this perk can only work when the activator is in a sleeping state. Yu Huinsen was angry. If I'm sleeping, how do I know how it works? So when I switched to activating the Infinity Sword, suddenly Yu Huinsen's whole body became very strange. A feeling of wanting to kill flared up in his body. Then he ran like a crazy man with a dagger and threw it on the street. After an evening on the street screaming and slashing, Yu Huinsen dragged his tired body back to his shabby room. As soon as Yu Huinsen fell asleep, in his room, a group of beast soldiers were already there. It seemed they intended to take advantage of Yu Huinsen's sleep to finish him off. From the middle of Yu Huinsen's belly, a rose rose. The night-blooming rose privilege conditions were satisfied, only to see that flower later turn into a carnivorous flower. It swallowed all the bees and rushed forward to attack Yu Huinsen. The queen bee realized that this was not the illusory flower in the legend. She had read it in ancient tribal records. That record talks about a cruel god who devoured more than 90% of the population more than 3,000 years ago. How could it appear on this nameless god now? Even so, she did not falter. Continue to order the soldiers to attack Yu Huinsen. This is their glorious milestone. They just need to successfully approach this nameless god. Then the bee rushed forward to attack Yu Huinsen. She swore that even if she couldn't kill the evil god, she would have to drag these flowers along with her. But her attack had no effect. It was swallowed by those nightmare flowers. The next morning, when Yu Huinsen woke up, he didn't know what had happened. He only felt that even though he hadn't eaten anything, his stomach felt full. When I opened my phone, I discovered that the saint and 101 believers were asking for help. They were poisoned by bees. Yu Huinsen immediately opened his computer and went online to look up how to treat bee poisoning. Then a notification appeared. The miracle was activated thanks to Yu Huinsen's sincerity. Allows giving holy magic to believers, which will help cure the believers. In exchange, Yu Huinsen would have to spend 100,000 copper coins in holy energy to heal. Yu Huinsen agreed without hesitation. The miracle was created by Yu Huinsen. Suddenly, Yu Huinsen fainted again. It seemed that because he used his own holy energy, his body fell into a state of unconsciousness. Meanwhile, the saint's title was promoted from E to D, and some saints began to pay attention to Yu Huinsen. In the world of the saint, after she cried and prayed to the gods for blessing, a golden rain fell from the sky, after which the toxins in their bodies were quickly eliminated. The whole group cried with joy and decided to swear to forever put their trust in the god Yu Huinsen, proving their undying faith in him. A moment later, Yu Huinsen woke up, not understanding why he fainted. The disciple Song Miri has been here since a long time ago. She discovered that in Yu Huinsen's room there was a strange statue, which looked quite strange. Yu Huinsen used the appraisal and it turned out that it was a gift made by the Black Ant tribe to commemorate and thank Yu Huinsen for his immeasurable merits to them. Then there was a notification from Yu Huinsen's phone. It seemed like the saint said that Gioi Thursday's sprouts were in a withered state, with only 24 hours left to live. Gioi Thursday is the tree whose fruit Yu Huinsen was previously given by the saint. Its effect helps Yu Huinsen's body recover immediately, so he must save this tree. He cannot let it go. Wither away. There will definitely be an item in the store that can do this. After a bit of searching, Yu Huinsen found an item called Tears of the God of Prosperity. However, to buy this item, Yu Huinsen must complete the task it sets out. A moment later, I only saw Yu Huinsen picking up trash everywhere. The task that thing requested was to join hands to contribute to the greenness of the earth. At this time, the task progress only reached 10 out of 100. Suddenly, an old man walked up to Yu Huinsen and threatened him for coming to work in his area. Yu Huinsen looked at this old man very familiarly. After thinking for a while, he realized that this old man was actually an S-class hunter, Choi Kong-san. Then a noise rang out. It seemed like a monster had appeared in the residential area again. Then suddenly old man Choi Kong-san dragged Yu Huinsen along and rushed towards the monster's appearance. The monster that appeared was a frog monster. It immediately recognized Yu Huinsen as the rumored unknown god. If it could bring this name back, His Majesty would surely be satisfied. While old man Choi Kong-san and the monster were fighting, Yu Huinsen seemed to be sleeping. From within Yu Huinsen's body, the illusion flower had enough conditions to activate. It came out of Yu Huinsen's body again. Just one bite caused both the frog and old man Choi Kong-san to be swallowed inside. Then Yu Huinsen woke up, only to see old man Choi Kong-san lying curled up, constantly calling for mom to save me. There was a flower that wanted to eat me. His whole body smelled like he had just crawled out of a pile of dung. Go out. Yu Huinsen's phone displays a notification that you have defeated the devil's evil minions, contributing to protecting world peace. The mission has already been completed to the point of 1000 out of 100. Yu Huinsen doesn't even understand what just happened. With this, Yu Huinsen successfully saved the world tree, building the foundation for the prosperity of the Black Clan. Yu Huinsen returned home, as he had saved the world tree and gained followers in the Black tribe. They cast another statue to give to Yu Huinsen. Looking at these two statues, Yu Huinsen himself felt disgusted. Thanks to the effect of the statue, the saintess was now able to send a message to Yu Huinsen. She said that they were attacked by monsters, and that some members of the Black Clan were on the brink of survival. This made Yu Huinsen extremely angry. Do they dare to attack your followers? He decided to personally deal with that damn group. The Holy Maiden guided Yu Huinsen. After meeting this group of magical beasts, Yu Huinsen himself was also scared. Why is it a cockroach? In this world, Yu Huinsen is most afraid of cockroaches. Yet here there are hundreds of thousands of cockroaches. They are crawling around and look disgusting. When the Black Clan people saw the number of the cockroach demonic beast army, they were also afraid. Did they have to die here? But the Holy Maiden spoke up to comfort everyone. They have the protection of the god Yu Huinsen. We all don't have to worry, he will protect us. But when they turned back, in front of the believers and the saintess was the image of Yu Huinsen running faster than them. God had abandoned them. Did they really have to die? At the same time, at the emperor's castle, a cockroach lord was kneeling and saying in 4 days, he will bring the nameless god's head back to the emperor. If he can't, he will cut off his own head in gratitude. Sin. Returning to Yu Huinsen, he came back and killed countless cockroaches. It turns out he came back to find a pile of cockroach pesticide to place all over the forest. With this, how many cockroaches can there be? Must all die. At this time a notification appears. You have met the requirements to get a new fixed skill, that is the god's thumb skill. Does it only cost 100 gold coins? Why didn't Yu Huinsen admit it? Yu Huinsen was about to try out the effects of this move when he received a text message from the manager. This trip is over. As soon as they met, Yu Huinsen was scolded for not composing, not writing manuscripts, and neglecting work. At this moment, monsters attacked the Black tribe again. Yu Huinsen could only listen and rescue the Black tribe, extremely miserable. The manager was extremely angry by this behavior of Yu Huinsen, immediately threw a piece of vegetable in his face in anger. At night, Yu Huinsen returned home in a very high state. 1 bottle was a little short and 2 bottles were a little too much. Thanks to Yu Huinsen upgrading his title of Benevolent Savior to level C, he can choose any ability as a reward, with no level limit. This is truly a God-given opportunity. If so, Yuhu Insen must have chosen the ability to create heaven and earth worth up to 1 trillion gold coins. After this decision, a warning appears: the world will change somewhat. Then, in front of everyone, a new moon appeared. It was yellow and much larger than the old moon. Immediately after that, an exploratory rocket with the code number MTS-2 was sent to explore the orbit of the second moon. But as soon as it got close, it immediately shook violently and lost signal. Detection is impossible. The next day, the news also reported that last night the moment the second moon appeared made everyone extremely surprised. While no one knew anything more about it except that it emitted yellow light at night and blue by day. Experts predict that maybe the gate and dungeon will skyrocket after this. Therefore, according to reports, Korean hunter federations will cooperate with the government to determine the location of the second moon. As for the perpetrator of the above incident, he was still feeling a headache after a heavy drinking session last night, and he seemed unaware that he was the cause of that second moon. He was training with his disciple Songmiri. After running 500 laps, he switched to sit-ups, taking advantage of that moment when Yuhu Insen entered Songmiri's mind again. The tiger last time was extremely ferocious, but this time it seemed much cuter. It even friendly licked Yuhu Insen's face. This time Yuhu Insen still used the god's index finger and continued to break a chain, releasing some of Songmiri's power. After that, the holy maiden sent a message to Yuhu Insen. She begged to give me a name. Yuhu Insen is not very good at this. After a moment of consideration, the name Yuhu Insen decided was Anti. The saint was extremely happy because she was given a name by God. After that, the believers also became excited. Begged Yuhu Insen to name him. Returning home, Yuhu Insen realized that the game screen had changed somewhat. It turned out that the black race consisting of the saintess and 100 followers had evolved thanks to Yuhu Insen's naming. The current race is Gami. Because Gami has evolved, Yuhu Insen's level has also increased to level 2, survival farming has been activated. Now Yuhu Insen knows that this game also has levels. The black tribe ants now, in addition to being able to cultivate crops, also know how to cut firewood to build houses. Indeed, after evolving, they are much smarter. This will help them be able to defend themselves against attacks from demonic beasts without relying too much on Yuhu Insen's help. Also newly unlocked within the game is the Warrior Tower, which is based on the tower the Eternal Seeker is entering. Only those with great faith and courage can enter this tower, which also absorbs the user's blood and soul. With less than a 0.0000001% chance of survival, Yuhu Insen was amazed by this tower. The survival rate is only like that, so why not just write it as 100% dead? Yuhu Insen had no choice but to build a wall around the tower to block the entrance to the tower, preventing the curious ants from dying inside. On the king's side, the great king cockroach, after failing in his mission to attack the Black Clan's ants, was punished. The king ordered the cockroach to be executed on the spot. He was disappointed in his subordinates. You guys are a bunch of useless people. Only this person called a female official can trust him. She told His Majesty to rest assured and leave the handling of the Black Clan and the nameless god to her. Her Majesty can just ascend from demigod to god. She swears on her name Arachne to destroy those obstacles. Back to Yuhu Insen, he is staying up all night to write a manuscript to submit to his manager. After the previous meeting, he threatened that if Yuhu Insen did not submit the manuscript in time next week, Yuhu Insen's contract in series will be cancelled. This time there will be no more concessions. He can't let his contract be cancelled. Currently, that is Yuhu Insen's only way to make money. As is his habit, Yuhu Insen was curious about what the ants were doing right now. When he opened his phone to observe, Yuhu Insen realized that while he was working hard, the ants had all gone to sleep. There was only one ant that seemed to be exercising physically. This ant lifted a rock several times larger than its body. That ant's name was Inho, and he was a Gami warrior. Interestingly, it seems that after evolution, individuals with unique characteristics have appeared among them. Yuhu Insen wondered what he could do to help this hardworking ant. Then Yuhu Insen gave Inho a bottle of growth medicine. The ant cried. It was extremely touched to receive the god's care. After that, Yu Huinsen returned to his writing work. I have to try hard, otherwise next month I will have to eat poop instead of rice. From outside Yu Huinsen's window, a mosquito demon beast was quietly observing Yu Huinsen's every move. It remembered its previous conversation with the white demon Arachne. She allowed him to drink the blood of that demon god Nameless as much as he wanted, as long as he could complete his mission of killing the god. There. In the mind of the demonic beast, Mosquito posted a plan: it will kill this god, drain his blood and power, then he will take over the throne. Then the mosquito flew into the room. The plan was so perfect, it even realized that this nameless god couldn't even recognize its presence. It immediately injected a shot into the demon god's body. Here it is, the power in its body is increasing rapidly. At this rate, sooner or later it will become the hegemon. With a strong slap, I saw the mosquito ascend to heaven. It's true that snouts usually die early. But Yu Huinsen suddenly felt cold all over his body, and from the previous mosquito bite, a drawing of his face appeared. The phone announced that it was a trace of the disease messenger, the thing that activated the cold curse. No, Yu Huinsen is also a script. If he has a fever like this, how can he work? But then a series of curses such as fever, muscle pain, and loss of appetite were activated. Yu Huinsen's whole body lost strength, like a dead man, and crawled around the room. He quickly opened a shop and found a medicine that could cure this curse. Here it is Hoa Tuo's magic medicine. But to buy it, you need to do a task. It's no good, Yu Huinsen told himself to go to the hospital quickly. After a while of struggling to crawl in the taxi, Yu Huinsen finally reached the hospital door. The mission required him to save 100 people, but with his body in current condition, telling him to save 100 people was like telling him to die. He couldn't even stand. Suddenly at the hospital, there was a crazy guy with the same mark on his head as Yu Huinsen who was causing chaos at the hospital. He captured a nurse and threatened to blow up the whole place. The disciple Song Miri is also present here, but because that guy is Tim's child, she doesn't dare to act rashly. That guy recognized Yu Huinsen in the crowd. With the mark on his head, he thought Yu Huinsen was sent here to help him. He even argued with Song Miri that he felt an evil aura coming from Yu Huinsen's body. Surely he was an accomplice who came to assist him in terrorizing this place. While that guy was busy arguing, Yu Huinsen used appraisal to look at the memories of the terrorist, a rather handsome guy. Stand shirtless in front of the terrorist and tell him that his mission is to kill a large number of human sacrifices after they have experienced a large enough fear. Only by doing so can we help the god of destruction enter the world and especially bring along the hunter Loi Hao as well as possible. Yu Huinsen realized that their purpose was to kill all the innocent people in this hospital and also Loi Hao. If that were the case, wouldn't even he be blown to death? Yu Huinsen immediately used his index finger to disable the bomb control in the terrorist's hand. Song Miri then immediately rushed to attack the terrorist. A powerful lightning ball was released, causing the terrorist to faint on the spot. Although he successfully prevented the terrorist attack, the curse on Yu Huinsen's forehead had now changed to a death curse. If it is not resolved quickly, it is likely that Yu Huinsen will have to die here. Yu Huinsen woke up in a strange place. He remembered that he was in the hospital. After hearing the words that triggered the curse, he fainted. When he opened his eyes, he was already in this strange place. In front of Yu Huinsen, a monster of enormous size spoke up. He is the one who placed the death curse on Yu Huinsen's forehead, which will give Yu Huinsen a painful death. However, at this time, Yu Huinsen's mission to save 100 people was completed by preventing the terrorist attack. The number of people he saved reached 1,238 people. The normal part is Hoa Tuo's glowing spirit, then Yu Huinsen's whole body emits blue light. It seemed to have completely cured the curse that Yu Huinsen had previously suffered. At the same time, somewhere else, the handsome guy who ordered the terrorist to bomb the hospital was watching everything through a TV screen. He was extremely angry because the plan that was almost carried out in secret was ruined. He gave his subordinate 4 days to deal with the hunters and brought the strange name who collaborated with Loi Hao in that video before him. Yu Huinsen returned home with a happy mood. Hoa Tuo's medicine was truly a miracle medicine. Not only did it completely cure Yoo Insen's illness curse, but it also made his body strangely light and peaceful. At the same time, Inho sent a request to Yoo Insen. He asked Yoo Insen to take pity on him and give him the same potion as before. It turned out that Inho, with a determination to leave a mark of glory, a great desire for strength, went inside the tower. He used the potion that God Yoo Insen gave him before. His power skyrocketed after using it. He entered the tower with confidence. But the tower gave him a very strong blow. Just the first level of the challenges beat him to a pulp. He had no choice but to ask for help from the god Yoo Insen. Yoo Insen, after seeing the announcement that Inho would die in 10 seconds, quickly agreed to give him the growth potion. But he was unconscious and couldn't take the medicine himself. Yoo Insen immediately opened the store and bought a new skill recovery medicine for only 100 gold coins. Then, with just one finger, Yoo Insen helped Inho return to normal health. Yoo Insen blamed Inho for warning them before that the tower was dangerous and they shouldn't go in there, but when he was about to open the door, a notification appeared. You can't escape here without passing the 50th floor. Yoo Insen is also at a loss as to what to do with this Inho. The notice board showed that Yoo Insen received Eternal Seeker Authority, which was probably also some stupid skill that had just been added. At this time, there was a bell ringing outside the door. Yoo Insen hurriedly bought Inho a bottle of growth medicine and then ran to open the door. The person who came was a tall, muscular man. He introduced himself as Chief Kim Tae-min, a scout for the Sin Guild. He wanted to discuss something with Hunter Yoo Insen. Meanwhile, Inho, after using a few more growth potions that Yoo Insen gave him, his strength skyrocketed again. This time he easily overcame the challenges. From rock to wind challenges, he passed them easily and continued to climb to the upper floors. Returning to Yoo Insen, the department head came here with the purpose of luring Yoo Insen to join his guild. With a salary of up to 300 million won a year, that number makes Yoo Insen's mouth water. While dreaming about a good future, marrying a beautiful wife, and having a big house if he accepted this job, Yoo Insen suddenly appraised the sky. Looking at some information, Kim Tae-min, 34 years old, a henchman of the god of destruction, turned out that 300 million was a bait. He intended to trap Yoo Insen inside and then attack. Yoo Insen could only use the excuse of having a stomachache and wanting to go to the bathroom to hide there and think of a way to deal with it. According to Yoo Insen's thoughts, this guy is most likely the same group as the terrorist at the hospital, all minions of the god of destruction. While Yoo Insen was wondering who to call, the police or the Hunter Association, that Kim Tae-min punched a hole in the wall and walked in. Right after that, Kim Tae-min punched Yoo Insen in the stomach with a powerful punch. He didn't understand why he had to personally come here to do this. With the weakest guy like Yoo Insen, sending anyone can handle it. Then Kim Tae-min grabbed Yoo Insen's neck and lifted him up. He intended to make Yoo Insen unconscious and then take him back to see his superiors. At this moment, a new mission announcement is issued: rescue your first progress on Earth, Songmiri, from the dead. The reward is Songmiri's trust plus 100. Could it be that she's in danger again? Damn, now Yoo Insen needs to deal with this big guy first. At this moment, Yoo Insen created a miracle. He overcame the tower. He stood on the tower and shouted loudly to thank the Supreme God. He would spend his whole life praying for him. At the same time, Yoo Insen shared Inho's own skill. An iron body skill was added. As soon as Yoo Insen activated his iron body, Yoo Insen's entire body turned into a pile of toned muscles, making Kim Tae-min extremely surprised. Kim Tae-min understood why he was personally sent to capture Yoo Insen. It turned out that this mission was more difficult than he thought. Now he will seriously fight Yoo Insen. He no longer had the strength, but right when he was still taking off his shirt, Yoo Insen rushed forward and kicked him on the knee. One blow made Kim Tae-min dizzy. Right after that, Yoo Insen gave him another smack on the head. It seems that Kim Tae-min was directly unconscious after two powerful blows from Yoo Insen. He just remembered the mission from earlier. He needed to quickly get to Songmiri to rescue her, but the phone number was already subscribed. Yoo Insen had to buy a skill called Believer Management System. Locating believers took 1,000 gold, but now it was no longer so important. Saving people came first. Yu Huinsen, after determining the location, was able to penetrate Song Miri's vision. She was seriously injured and was attacked by a man named Demon Sword. The 32-year-old was holding a sword in front of him. He was about to finish off Song Miri. A message appears with Yu Huinsen. You have been given a preview of Song Miri's outcome. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen soon. That means Yu Huinsen still has time to prevent that from happening to her. The system asks Yu Huinsen if he wants to change the fate of mortals as a god. Of course, Yu Huinsen chose yes, suddenly remembering that Demon Sword's nickname was Sword Fanatic. Yu Huinsen immediately returned to his desk, carrying his tiny miniature sword with him, ready to go into battle with the Demon Sword. Immediately after, a yellow light covered Song Miri's body. He was teleported directly to the location of Song Miri's believer. On Song Miri's side, she was seriously injured. In front of her was the Demon Sword that Yu Huinsen saw before. That guy was about to attack Song Miri when suddenly, from behind, a strong murderous aura radiated out, causing him to unconsciously step back. The one who came was Yu Huinsen. With the murderous sword in his hand, Yu Huinsen now became a madman. With angry eyes, he continuously screamed that I want to cut and kill everyone. Devil Sword didn't know where this crazy guy appeared. He appeared suddenly. His mouth was muttering like he was having an epileptic seizure, and he was still planning on using that tiny knife to fight with the Demon Sword. How rude. Then Demon Sword pulled out his heirloom sword and rushed towards Yu Huinsen's neck with a sword. S-rank hunters could not even resist his sword skills. This guy is probably dead. But the Demon Sword was surprised when the crazy fairy in front of him blocked his attack with just a fruit knife. What the hell? Demon Sword he didn't believe. It must be his own negligence. He continued to unleash a powerful sword skill. But it continued to be easily cut off by Yu Huinsen using that tiny sword. The Demon Sword was now starting to get exhausted. He threw out all his unconsciousness, but none of it had any effect, so he pulled out a bottle of medicine from his pocket. He decided to use the last card. Although this could reduce the lifespan, it would give the Demon Sword temporary power. The Demon Sword he had to kill this crazy guy in front of him in one move. Then his whole body radiated a dark energy, and a mark appeared on his face similar to the terrorist who bombed the hospital. He screamed, then rushed forward, jumped high and slashed a powerful blow down to where Yu Huinsen was. There they were. He thought no one could survive after that slash. But when he looked back, Kim only saw that the sword in his hand had been cut off. And that crazy guy is still safe and sound. The Demon Sword saw Yu Huinsen swing a slash from afar. In his illusion, the gentle slash just now could take his life in just a split second. He was amazed at this man's domineering strength. He was like an almighty sword saint. With just a gentle wave of his hand he could create a slash that could split heaven and earth. At this moment, the effect time of the Iron Body skill expires. Yu Huinsen's body returned to its skinny, weak appearance. The Sword Saint's sword-killing magnet also returns to being a fruit knife when its duration expires. But the Demon Sword had lost all will to fight. He came before Yu Huinsen, but the devil admitted defeat. Demon Sword has become your second card worshipper on Earth. Then, to prove his trust, Kim immediately took a bottle of high-quality recovery medicine for Song Miri to drink. Immediately, the wounds on Song Miri's body recovered quickly. The mission to rescue Yu Huinsen's followers was also completed. Song Miri's trust increased from 39 to 139. First it was the insects, then it was Kim Tae-min from the group named XIN. And this guy named Kui Sword was also hired by them. But now he has become his devoted fan. Yu Huinsen didn't understand why those guys kept messing with him like that. But it was time for him to counterattack. Yu Huinsen immediately ordered the Demon Sword to cause trouble for that gang named XIN. A notification appears: you have achieved a crazy follower, unlocked an authority. Prosperity costs only 100 gold coins, accept it or not? Could this be the legendary finger skill that produces gold? There was no reason for Yu Huinsen to refuse. He immediately agreed. After that, Yu Huinsen immediately returned to the room, dug out the pig, and there was a 101 coin. Prosperity and prosperity, why doesn't it have any effect? It turns out this skill has no effect on the animal's head. Yu Winson is angry. Why isn't there any skill to make his life easier? Yu Winson wondered what he needed to do to get stronger quickly. The god of prosperity said he should accumulate good deeds. As for Mong Votan and Extinction Sword, they say you should kill to create karma, that will get stronger faster. Yu Winson decided to do both. First, using prosperous arrows on the ants, 1 million Gami tribe soldiers were summoned. Will be there in 24 hours. With this army, Yu Winson will use them to fight other monsters. Yu Winson saw the Holy Maiden using her divine healing power to treat injured ants. I didn't expect she could do that. Thanks to that, Yu Winson continuously increased his followers and his merit increased more and more. At this time, Yu Winson was called and scolded by his manager for not submitting the manuscript on time. Yu Winson had trouble thinking of an idea. What if he used prosperity point on himself? If he thought he would do it, he would do it. Another version of Yu Winson is summoned, looking much more handsome and cool. It only lasts for about 6,666 seconds. Yu Winson immediately ordered that body to be responsible for writing the manuscript from now on, and before he finished speaking, he was slapped in the face by the body. Then the main body beat Yu Winson to a pulp, punching and cursing, "Don't tell me you're a loser." After that, the identity also stole Yu Winson's phone and logged into the game. As soon as he logged in, the entity showed himself to be a brutal murderer. Kill all the monsters, leaving them without a single piece of armor. This is the demon god rumored by the demonic beasts. Then a guy with a broken body returned to report the situation. They faced the demon god and were beaten to the point that the entire army was destroyed in a single moment. A moment later, Yu Winson with a bruised face suddenly woke up. He only remembered that his body had beaten him to a pulp before losing consciousness. I can't see it now, perhaps the summoning time has expired so it disappeared. Yu Winson took out his phone and saw 121 as the number to call. The manager said that they officially cancelled the tyrant's contract and asked him to pay compensation. Yu Winson was angry. It's all because of this damn devil game. He can't lose this job. I had to turn on my computer and quickly write a manuscript. Then submit it to them to ask for forgiveness. At this time, another notification appears. The demon sword follower is in trouble. Do you want to rescue him? Your skill rewards will bloom like flowers. But at this time, Yu Winson wanted to take advantage of writing the script, so he ignored this. But the system automatically showed the demon sword's perspective in front of Yu Winson. Demon sword is being tied up and tortured in a certain room. The torturer was a 26-year-old girl, named Xionmi, and someone who had been blessed by the god of destruction. Next to him, there is also a 31-year-old named Xionju who is also blessed by the god of destruction. They are so scared. Yu Winson was able to look deep into the mind of the demon sword. Since he was a child he was a slave, tortured and tortured. After growing up, he awakens his abilities and becomes an assassin. Here he met two people, Xionju and Xionmi. He walks the path of kendo mastery. Become one of the most powerful sword users. Until he met someone whose swordsmanship was superior to his, he was conquered. Then the demon sword was grabbed by the muscular man Xionju. He wanted to kill the demon sword. It was not good. Yu Winson had no choice but to save the demon sword, immediately cast iron body, then rushed to help the demon sword away. Yu Winson wondered what would happen if he used Song Miri's lightning magic while in this state of muscular strength. It would probably blow the other two away in one fell swoop. The idea wasn't bad, but the holy power wasn't enough. Yu Winson couldn't use two of the attack skills at the same time. Yu Winson immediately fell into an overload state. Yu Winson's whole body seemed to be electrocuted, convulsing continuously. Xionju, seeing that, immediately rushed to attack. When he punched Yu Winson's body, he was electrocuted and passed out. Yu Winson was able to overcome the overload thanks to the state of his iron body. He didn't understand why he had just killed a guy. Then Xionmi unleashed fire magic, a giant flame rushed towards Yu Winson. But to him, this fire felt just like bathing in a hot spring. Yuhu Insen did not expect that Iron Chi body would be so domineering. It was right to put resources into that name Inho. Yuhu Insen then slapped Chionmi unconscious, just in time for the Iron Branch's time to expire. The rescue mission is complete, your skills will bloom. The demon sword had also woken up now. He looked at Yuhu Insen with a look of admiration. His admiration had increased one level. Suddenly, from within the darkness, a man with his shirt off walked out to chat with Yuhu Insen. We finally meet. His name is Johann, 29 years old, the one who undertakes the sacrificial ritual to the god of destruction. Yuhu Insen found this guy disgusting, not wearing any clothes, running around naked. Why should he fight with a pervert like this? That guy was so happy that he trembled when he met Yuhu Insen. He considered Yuhu Insen like his apostolic brother. At this time, the demon sword stepped out and stood in front of Yuhu Insen, not allowing Johann to get close to Yuhu Insen. This made Johann extremely angry. He just gave a slap and sent the demon sword flying away. Yuhu Insen was amazed at this guy's strength. The demon sword is someone who can defeat even Thunder Queen, but in front of this guy Johann has no strength to fight back. Johann spoke up and asked Yuhu Insen, "Which god are you on? Whose apostle are you?" Yuhu Insen immediately activated Thunderbolt, rushing to punch Johann. "I am a liberal." At the same time in the Black Clan's village, a blue butterfly monster flew above the ants' village, waving its wings. Countless poisonous pollen grains flew down, and the ants below, after inhaling these toxins, covered their mouths, screaming in pain, life or death unknown. Back to Yuhu Insen. After his lightning-fast punch, Johann fell to the ground. But that guy Johann seemed unharmed. Standing up again soon after, he said that no matter how much Yuhu Insen attacked, he couldn't do anything to him. Johann laughed at Yuhu Insen, who was also a follower of God, but why Yuhu Insen seemed so weak? Yuhu Insen immediately thought of a way, Prosperity Cu Chi, to call out the previous fierce enemy to go into battle. The last time he ordered his body, he punched him, making Yuhu Insen still scared to this day. The body told Yuhu Insen that the situation was now extremely dangerous. The Gami tribe was also in danger. The believers were dying, so their divine power was also disappearing. The body told Yuhu Insen to burn this pervert. He also had to save Gami's clan. Then the entity crawled into the phone and disappeared, leaving Yuhu Insen and the pervert Johann behind. Yuhu Insen realized that the body seemed to have found Johann's weakness. The hint it left behind was to burn stars. Then Yuhu Insen will use the god's middle finger skill. Yuhu Insen shouted, "Burning," he went, secret technique middle finger of God. A flame that must be said to be extremely tiny appeared at Yuhu Insen's finger. There's no way, Johann is getting closer. Yuhu Insen could only combine the fire with a snap of his fingers. Dozens of tiny flames flew to attack Johann. He despised Yuhu Insen so much that he didn't even bother to dodge those fires. Yuhu Insen cried, "Could this be my end? Dying at the hands of a pervert is truly humiliating." Suddenly, the wound from Yuhu Insen's tiny flame caused Johann's body to bleed. He was surprised that the injury prevented his healing ability from activating. Yuhu Insen received a notification. That is the devastating fire of hell, the letter that has the ability to burn all power. Johann was angry that because of this bastard's nonsense skill, his body's recovery ability had disappeared. He immediately performed a certain technique on Yuhu Insen, only to see him scream in pain. On the Black Tribe's side, the butterfly ghost seemed satisfied because he had killed countless followers of the nameless god. With this, that god's power is certainly greatly reduced. Suddenly, at this moment, he felt something rushing towards him. It was that nameless god. But the main body just needs to throw a punch and immediately kill that butterfly ghost. Unfortunately, at this time, the believers had already died, and the corpses of the ants were lying everywhere. Back to Yuhu Insen, his whole body hurt the most after Johann's recent attack. Suddenly a message appeared asking Yuhu Insen if he wanted to revive dead believers with his healing ring finger. This requires 5 million gold coins. Yuhu Insen then remembered the recovery skill he learned before. It can also be applied to his body after being used on the body itself. Yuhu Insen immediately returned to normal, without any pain. Then Yu Insen used that skill to revive all the followers. Johann was surprised why this Yu Insen was still able to stand up after his all-out attack just now. He intended to attack Yu Insen again, but at this time he used the iron body, strengthening his own strength, completely blocking the attack just now. Next was a fire from the god's middle finger. But Johann now knew the dangers of that fire. He continuously dodged, not daring to touch the fire again. Only now did Johann reveal his purpose. He once offered 999 offerings to the god of destruction. And Yu Insen is his final offering. I only saw Johann raise his hand in the air, the floor was filled with water. From above, a giant eye appeared. That is the true god of destruction. Yu Insen realized the danger of this god. He used the god's finger skill, but a message appeared that this skill cannot be used on the god of destruction. At this moment, Johann suddenly screamed in pain. He screamed and blamed the god of destruction for not keeping his promise and then fell to the ground. After that, Johann was immediately entangled by countless snakes. He screamed unwillingly. I did everything myself, serving the god of destruction. But now he was eaten by the very person he worshipped. This god of destruction in front of Yu Insen is a true god, a cold-blooded and cruel god. He must face this evil. At this time, Yu Insen summoned a giant yellow sword in front of him. This is the power that the Sword of Extinction bestowed on Yu Insen. He can only use it 3 times. This power helps the sword reach its greatest power and potential, helping the sword wielder and the sword become one. The god of destruction, after seeing this sword, was surprised, then scared. But now it was too late. Yu Insen picked up the sword. A god-breaking move was released. Why don't you disappear from my world? A powerful slash slashed straight down at the god of destruction. Guggen City, an abandoned inner city, a pile of ruins and a landscape of destruction. The army was present here to conduct an investigation. According to their investigation, a rift with SSS level has opened. A monster capable of destroying the entire country could come out of it. What exactly happened here? This man is Hel Kong Cheon, director of the Hunter Association. He was sent here to investigate. He's thinking about starting that secret project. Then the soldiers discovered that one person was still alive. The survivor is Johann, but now he looks like an old man. This guy seems to have gone crazy. After witnessing that terrible scene, Yu Insen slashed the god of destruction with one sword. That drove Johann directly crazy. 2 days later, Yu Insen was at home and his lovely niece put pain-relieving glue all over his body. That is the consequence left after using the giant sword. But thanks to it, Yu Insen was able to stop that god of destruction. The demon sword guy, after witnessing Yu Insen's slash, became increasingly more terrible. Now he even refuses to stay at Yu Insen's house. Yu Insen asked him about dealing with the remnants of Johann. But Kui Kim said they didn't need to do that. The special task force of the Hunter Association, led by Sung Mina, has taken care of all of them. From the name, it seems like that girl is disciple Song Miri's older sister. At this time, a notification was sent to Yu Insen's phone. Yu Insen successfully prevented the god-destroying clone from coming to Earth 1 in 100, the cause and effect increased to 1 million. Oh, so that eye is called god-breaking. But Yu Insen suddenly realized that the eye was only 1 out of 100 stars. So there are still 99 more things like that need to be stopped? At this time, Yu Insen also successfully opened a promotion mission. For a low-level good god, you can have 1 million creatures as followers or 10 high-level creatures from S or higher as followers. As for low-level evil gods, it means killing 1 million creatures to gain karma or killing 10 high-level creatures from S or higher. He needs to complete both tasks in parallel. It's too difficult. Later Yu Insen went to the hospital where Song Miri was resting. When I got there, I discovered that she seemed to be fine. I've already started practicing again. She said she got better very quickly. There were no wounds left on her body to prove that she was still planning to take off the bandage in front of Yu Insen. At this moment, Song Miri's older sister walked in and slapped her for daring to strip in front of men. Then Ms. Tum grabbed Yu Hu-inson's collar and asked who the bastard he was. "Are you planning on toying with her sister?" The older sister was surprised. "This guy who looks like a guy is actually your sister's teacher?" According to Song Miri, Yu Hu-inson is an exemplary teacher. Can be stronger than anyone? Even as the older sister, Song Miri's respectability is not inferior to that of the demon sword. Sung Mina, the older sister, seemed quite proud when she heard her younger sister evaluate this country name as stronger than her. Lin T switched her spiritual skills, causing her younger sister unbearable pain. After that, she even took the exam to move up to Yu Hu-inson. But surprisingly, he didn't see anything happening. So he has the ability to resist mind control. Sung Mina thought that this rustic guy was actually an SS or SSS level hunter and immediately changed his attitude. At the end, he apologized to Yu Hu-inson for offending and then tried to leave. Meanwhile, Yu Hu-inson used appraisal to realize that Sung Mina was cursed by an abyss related to the god of destruction. After all, she was her disciple's older sister. Yu Hu-inson could not ignore it. Yu Hu-inson immediately reminded Mina that she was most likely under a curse. But she immediately denied that she was cursed and then hurriedly left. Then Yu Hu-inson entered Song Miri's mind. That tiger seemed to be waiting for Yu Hu-inson to visit. Even though I used the god's powerful index finger, I was still only able to break a few chains. Breaking all of these chains doesn't seem as simple as Yu Hu-inson thought. In a certain prison, Johan is currently being held here. He was regretting that he had blindly worshipped a destroyer as a god before. But for him now, that day, Yu Hu-inson was the difference. Thanks to the coming of that day, the world will be saved. He asked for forgiveness for his past mistakes and asked to become a descendant of Yu Hu-inson. But just when he received Yu Hu-inson's recognition, a stranger appeared behind him. It seems that she is Song Miri's older sister. She came here because this bastard previously dared to have intentions with her sister. A few days later, Yu Hu-inson received a letter from the demon sword. He seemed to have something important to do, so he left here. But he said he would always pray and worship Yu Hu-inson. No matter where he is, everything in his body belongs to Yu Hu-inson. Hearing this, Yu Hu-inson got goosebumps. Along with that comes an announcement. That pervert Johan turned from being a deity to worshipping Yu Hu-inson. The progress of the mission is up to now. The number of civilians recruited is 5 million too. As for the number of S-level creatures or higher, it's 1 in 10. Yu Hu-inson didn't know why Johan changed his mind, but it seemed like good news. But surprisingly, a text message followed saying that Yu Hu-inson's husband Johan had died. What is it? What's the point of just switching sides and falling over dead? But Yu Hu-inson can still receive gifts from Johan even when he is dead. But to receive the gift, it will have to be accompanied by pain equivalent to having your body crushed. Then I saw Yu Hu-inson screaming in pain. This damn game, why didn't you explain it earlier? What's the use of having it happen before explaining it? But Yu Hu-inson realized he had absorbed Johan's powers. Luckily, the number of followers needed for the mission was not reduced even though that Johan died. Both good god and bad god progress increased by 1. Yu Hu-inson suddenly thought of a way to gain more followers. That is to continue creating stories. After that, Yu Hu-inson diligently sat down to write stories and then uploaded them online. Looking forward to favorable comments and showers of compliments. But life came back and gave Yu Hu-inson a shot. Comments are full of criticism. Praise is nowhere to be seen, only piles of bricks and stones are enough to build a house. At this time outside the door, Song Miri came to find Yu Hu-inson. As soon as we met her, she knelt down and asked him if he could help her with a difficult task. Looking at those sparkling eyes, how could Yu Hu-inson refuse? The next day, at the Hunter Academy, Song Miri asked Yu Hu-inson to be her guardian. Because she was absent too much, her homeroom teacher called her to her house. Perhaps she was too afraid of the cruel therapist, so she had no choice but to ask Yu Hu-inson. At this time in the principal's office, this old man seemed to be the principal of the Hunter Academy. He looked towards the horn and exclaimed how quickly time passed. That day, a gate appeared everywhere in the middle of the city. Monsters appeared everywhere, so numerous that even the hunters could not handle them all. He once killed an S-class monster with just one punch. He wanted to live in hiding but couldn't. From there, the name Choi Kong-san Guillotine was born. But now that title is old, he cannot continue to fight like when he was young. We can only train this academy to find future talents to protect the country. For him, little Song Miri is the brightest preschooler. The girl developed significantly compared to others her age. During today's meeting, he will talk to her so that she can focus on her own development. On Yoo-hoo Inson's side, he and Song Miri led him to the door of the principal's office. The two were then invited inside to talk. After meeting each other, they immediately recognized each other. Well, it turned out to be an acquaintance. It turned out that the drunk old man from the other day was the principal of the Hunter Academy. After seeing Yoo-hoo Inson, old man Choi Kong-san suddenly remembered the carnivorous flower that day. Suddenly a fear arose in his heart. Then, because he was so scared and obsessed with that carnivorous flower, Choi Kong-san jumped out of his workplace and ran away from there. No one understood why he was so scared. The teacher apologized to the two Yoo-hoo Inson on behalf of the principal, perhaps after saving someone last time. The aftershock made his brain no longer normal. Yoo-hoo Inson also saw that this old man was not normal from the last time. A moment later, old man Choi Kong-san finally returned, and the talk officially began. Yoo-hoo Inson was given a cake by Song Miri. The system considered that cake to be a tribute given by the people. But Yoo-hoo Inson didn't understand why old man Choi Kong-san kept looking at him with those green eyes, maybe because he was eating his favorite cake? The homeroom teacher is the one who opens the story. The reason they called Yoo-hoo Inson is because Song Miri has been absent from school often these days. According to the teacher's opinion, she is a good and intelligent student, so they hope Yoo-hoo Inson can remind Song Miri so that she can be more obedient and not miss class so often. If that was all, it would be easy. Yoo-hoo Inson promised the teacher that he would definitely remind Song Miri carefully when he returned. While Yoo-hoo Inson and Song Miri were preparing to leave, old man Choi Kong-san had a fit. He begged Yoo-hoo Inson to take a test with him. There are full machines and equipment here, so it will be very easy to do. Yoo-hoo Inson didn't understand why this old man suddenly wanted to do that, but for Song Miri's sake, Yoo-hoo Inson accepted it if he ignored the fact that Song Miri voluntarily absented himself during classes. According to the report, the previous results showed that Yoo-hoo Inson was only a G-rank hunter. Choi Kong-san's daughter next to him didn't understand why he wanted to test for a guy like this. This is truly a waste of time and resources. Choi Kong-san couldn't tell his daughter that this guy was the owner of the flower that sent him to the hospital. It was too embarrassing. Inside, Yoo-hoo Inson was standing in front of an item called the Jewel of the Chosen One, capable of measuring the abilities and strength of hunters. Yoo-hoo Inson was instructed to begin the examination by placing his hand on the gem, then a light swept over Yoo-hoo Inson's body. After going out, the assistant was surprised by Yoo-hoo Inson's results. He was extremely excited when he heard that. Is it a grade? Or B grade? Have I changed? But the result is grade G from health to intelligence. At the bottom of the social bottom, MU fans had to go to the bottom to find Yoo-hoo Inson. Choi Kong-san also did not believe this result. He still doubted whether the measurement results were ever wrong. If it was G rank, then how did he end up doing it that day? Wait, he suddenly remembered. At that time, in front of Monster X, was he already sleeping or something? Could it be that his power only activates when he's sleeping? If so, he just needs to make Yoo-hoo Inson faint and then test his strength again. At this time, Yoo-hoo Inson and Song Miri were turning their backs to go home when Choi Kong-san rushed forward, not letting them go. He wanted to fight Yoo-hoo Inson to see how skilled he was. This made both Yoo-hoo Inson and his daughter extremely angry. Yoo-hoo Inson refused. Did this old man suddenly have a fit? But he suddenly remembered the demon sword, and that pervert Johann, after fighting with him, also became his loyalists. If he fought this old man now, he would get another S-rank credit. That way the task will be completed faster, right? But the homeroom teacher came out and asked to fight. It's not a good idea for their great principal to personally do this. That Yu Insen guy has to get past the homeroom teacher first. According to Choi Kong-san, the homeroom teacher is a top B-rank hunter. In addition, his combat experience is equal to that of an A-rank hunter. Therefore, Yu Insen absolutely should not underestimate him. Yu Insen's face was as stiff as an apricot. Why didn't you say it earlier? I was in the ring before saying that. From the stage, countless students gathered around, curious about the teacher's competition. A stranger wearing it, the homeroom teacher rushed forward like a fierce tiger. Each of his punches was like a 1,000-pound dumbbell. Yu Insen was lucky to dodge the first punch. Just as he was about to throw a second punch, Yu Insen raised his finger, the powerful index finger of a god. The homeroom teacher was seriously injured, spurted blood from his nose and fell unconscious. Old man Choi Kong-san stood below observing the battle. This further confirmed his speculation. It's obvious that this kid Yu Insen is hiding his profession. It cannot be grade G. His daughter was equally surprised. This guy clearly looks like a normal person. There is even a developed brain and limbs. How can you defeat a B-rank teacher in one blow? Now it's Choi Kong-san's turn to take the field. He wanted to check this Yu Insen guy himself. Surely that power meter was broken. Compared to the ability he showed that day, today's strength is nothing. He wanted to knock Yu Insen unconscious to test his true strength. Yu Insen is also extremely eager to gain another S-class follower. He immediately made a bet. Whoever loses will have to listen to a request from the winner. Old man Choi Kong-san also immediately agreed. As long as it's not illegal, that's fine. Then, Choi Kong-san let out a scream. His whole body was unusually strong, ready for battle. Yu Insen's side saw that the old man was at full strength. He also used iron body. His body is still not inferior to the old man's. This will be a bodybuilding battle between two men. He told Yu Insen it seemed he was right. An S-rank hunter named GG had told him before. There will be the appearance of a person. An existence that was both noble and brutal appeared. They need to attract that person to the academy. Yu Insen thought, honorable and cruel. Perhaps those are two words to describe both an evil god and a good god. The mission that Yu Insen is doing. That Yi Ji girl is also very good, isn't she? Then the old man Choi was the one who rushed forward to attack first. A powerful, extremely fast punch came towards Yu Insen. But he caught it easily. After that, there was a red show of strength from both of them. After each person punches, then the other person punches. Punch back and forth for a while. At this time, the old man activated his skill. His whole body radiated yellow light. Yu Insen also decided to go all out. While the two were about to throw two powerful punches at each other, a notification appeared. Inho successfully climbed to the 11th floor of the tower. Inho wanted to offer sacrifices to the god Yu Insen. Just as their punches were about to collide, Inho's offering appeared as a bouquet of 100 roses as if expressing his love for the god. When the old man saw the roses, he immediately remembered the day and felt like he had a seizure again. Screaming for "Mom, please save me," then ran away from the field in the surprise of the entire audience. Yu Insen didn't understand why he ran away like that. Maybe he's allergic to moon roses. If so, then it can be considered that he has one. I'm so happy to have another S-class follower. The next day, Yu Insen upgraded and expanded the tribe to build many new areas. Thanks to that, the number of Yu Insen's followers increased to 10 million. But still far away from the mission number of 1 billion. Suddenly a notification appeared. Devil Swords fanatic is in danger of committing suicide. Saved or not? Yoo Insun immediately teleported to the demon sword. I only saw him holding a knife to his heart when he saw Yoo Insun coming. Han cried and asked for a saint to save me. He said he did not want to commit suicide but was controlled by someone else. From behind Yoo Insun, a masked stranger stepped forward. Kim said that was the person who controlled him to commit suicide. That guy has very strange spiritual powers. Yoo Insun immediately realized that it wasn't Sung Mina, right? She was also surprised when Yoo Insun recognized her, so she took off her face and revealed her real face. She was angry. It was clear that this mask was enchanted with a level A disguise spell. How the hell could he recognize it? Her purpose here is to kill that demon sword. Hearing that, Yoo Insun immediately asked Sung Mina to spare the life of the demon sword. After all, he has become a believer. He cannot be left to be killed by others. Sung Mina heard that and was extremely angry. This guy dared to ask for forgiveness for the man who tried to kill his sister. She said the name Johan before blaming and also mentioned the name Yoo Insun. Could it be that you are the culprit behind the assassination of her sister? What is your purpose in approaching Songmiri? If she said so, then Yoo Insun would not hesitate to say it directly. He asked if she really loved her sister. So why take advantage of your sister like that? That's right, the reason Yoo Insun said that was because the time he penetrated Songmiri's mind, he recognized the blood seal. The curse that binds Songmiri's power, a curse that threatens her life, a curse that cannot be broken, are all the work of her own sister, Sung Mina. Yoo Insun didn't know why she was with her sister. Could it be because she was an SS rank hunter, and because she didn't want her sister to be better, she did that to hold her back? Hearing that, Sung Mina became extremely angry and rushed to attack Yoo Insun crazily. The demon's sword rushed forward but was easily blown away by her. What the hell is that ability? She only glanced at Kim and sent him flying away, his whole body covered in blood. Although the demon's sword was seriously injured, he still spoke up to remind Yoo Insun. There were rumors that this girl was not just an S rank but that she was actually an SS rank hunter. Sung Mina spoke up, she won't kill Yoo Insun right now. But she had to teach him a lesson for being rude. Then she aimed straight at Yoo Insun's heart and squeezed it. The demon's sword screamed, don't kill him, he can't die. But Yoo Insun immediately turned to scold him, could you please be quiet, it's just a little ticklish. Sung Mina was surprised when she heard that. She put all her strength into that attack, yet he was only slightly ticklish. She was really angry now. She admitted that she had underestimated Yoo Insun, but if he thought she was just someone who used the power of mental manipulation, he was sorely mistaken. Then her whole body radiated huge energy, her whole body flew high, an unburned skill was released, a huge fire hit Yoo Insun. The ground in front of Yoo Insun and the demon's sword was hit with a huge hole. It was unknown if they were hit or not. But she didn't stop there. Sung Mina continued to squeeze a bigger ball, this time with a freezing skill. The demon sword's entire body was frozen, and Yoo Insun's legs were also frozen. Yoo Insun was surprised. How could there be a hunter who could use so many types of magic skills, from fire magic to now ice magic? Could she be an omnipotent mage? Yoo Insun suddenly realized that all of this was an illusion. Her power was still just mind control. What he just saw was just a mental illusion created by her power. She did not deny Yoo Insun's findings, but to her, a perfect illusion would not be any different from reality. If these illusions are deeply engraved into your body, you will still have to die as usual. If you don't want to die, then reveal your true purpose of approaching Songmiri. Yoo Insun knew for sure that no matter what he said now, she wouldn't believe it. He simply accepted Songmiri as a disciple because of her wish, then helped her become stronger. Of course, that ridiculous reason was that she did not receive the approval of Sung Mina. She turned a mountain straight down towards Yoo Insun. He immediately activated the iron body, punching one arm straight into the rock, smashing it completely. This time the surprised person was Sung Mina. After all, a G-rank hunter was able to block that attack. This time Sung Mina unleashed a skill even stronger than before. The mental field was deployed by her, only to see Yoo-hoo Insun later transported to another strange dimension. A strange space where nothing exists around. A feeling of peace entered Yoo-hoo Insun's body, making him just want to fall asleep. Then the scene changed again. In front of Yoo-hoo Insun is a night sky full of sparkling stars. Next to that night sky, Sungmina was as giant as a god. Pointing his finger at Yoo-hoo Insun's whole body then seemed to be submerged in water, his posture gradually sinking and he could do nothing. Even though she tried, the god's index finger skill couldn't be used at this time. She stomped her foot on Yoo-hoo Insun's head, giving him one last chance, revealing the real reason for approaching Songmiri. But Yoo-hoo Insun only said one sentence, "I can see it, her underwear is white." This caused her to lose all mercy and step straight on Yoo-hoo Insun's head, drowning him in an endless stream of water. Yoo-hoo Insun's whole body gradually sank into the water, a feeling of sleepiness invaded his whole body. He himself still couldn't figure out why this Sungmina girl put the seal on her sister's body. Yoo-hoo Insun's eyes began to close tightly. The conditions for activating night-blooming roses were met. From below the water, a giant carnivorous flower floated up in front of Sungmina. It immediately rushed to bite Sungmina's button. She was extremely surprised. This dimension was a place no one could enter. Why could this huge creature appear here? Could this be the skill of that bastard Yoo-hoo Insun? It seems that was her correct thought. Then, with her own eyes, she saw the image of Yoo-hoo Insun, even though he was unconscious, but was protected by that flower, wrapping his body inside. For the first time in her life, from the day Sungmina awakened her powers until now, a feeling of being unable to do anything else appeared in her thoughts. The power difference between her and this thing was too great, exactly like the horror that day, the day the dragons appeared. The carnivorous flower had burned Sungmina up, now she was in tears, she didn't want to die. She hasn't been able to tell her parents yet. She still had to kill those dragons, but it seemed like it was too late. At this time, Yoo-hoo Insun woke up and found himself in some strange place. This is a ruined city. It seemed like it had just gone through an extremely fierce battle. Yoo-hoo Insun only remembered that he was fighting with Sungmina before, but he didn't understand the reason why he was here. Then a projector screen appeared in front of Yoo-hoo Insun. The scene shown in front of him was Sungmina's nightmare. The nightmare started 15 years ago. And the cause of this nightmare comes from a monster named Dragon, the monster known as the worst of all time. It can kill thousands of people with just one breath, and both the Sungmina's sisters' parents were blown away by it in the process. But the Dragon did not kill the two cousins, it just marked them both because it saw strong potential in the two of them. And it marked the two sisters with the purpose of nurturing them to later be used as sacrifices. Thanks to that, Sungmina easily became an extremely strong S-rank hunter. Her sole purpose of existence was to inform her parents. There were rumors that the Dragon had died, but she didn't believe it and thought that one day the Dragon would return. However, the dragon's curse is something that, although increasing her strength, causes her lifespan to decrease rapidly. At this rate, she definitely won't be able to live too long. But she wasn't the only one who was cursed. Her younger sister Songmiri also suffered from the same curse. Even though she tried to remove the mark on her sister, she couldn't. Therefore, she could only choose to further shorten her lifespan to seal her sister's power and completely forbid her sister from intending to inform her parents. Yoo-hoo Insun, after watching Sungmina's nightmare, burst into tears. It turns out that was the reason she sealed away her sister's power. What a touching sisterly love story. At this time, a notification appeared. Sungmina had been eaten by night-blooming roses, and her spirit was broken. After that, Yoo-hoo Insun immediately returned to the real world. Yoo-hoo Insun saw Sungmina lying unconscious on the ground. He immediately ran to help her up. Luckily, it looks like she was swallowed by the carnivorous flower but seems to be okay. But when she opened her eyes and looked at Yoo-hoo Insun, the first thing she called out was "Mother." Yoo-hoo Insun then took Sungmina to a house to rest. It seems like she was mentally traumatized, so now she acts like a child. Even putting his hand to his mouth to suck. Yoo-hoo Insun took out his phone to consult Mong Botan's group. But they said that to heal her, they needed to use the god's pinky skill when he promoted to a high-level god. Currently, just doing the low-level god mission is already too difficult for Yu Huinsen. When will I be promoted to a high-level god? After this incident, it seemed that Yu Huinsen realized that every time he was defeated unconscious, the nightmare voiceless flower would be activated. And it is what made old man Choi Kong-san or Sung Mina become what he is today. If so, ask Mong Votan and he will definitely know how to resolve it. Sure enough, he knew how to treat Sung Mina. It said the way to make her recover was for Yu Huinsen to sleep with her. It turns out that because Yu Huinsen absorbed Sung Mina's memories. So Yu Huinsen needs to sleep next to her, the memories she absorbed by Yu Huinsen will automatically return. To accurately check Sung Mina's current medical condition, Yu Huinsen asked her a few simple questions such as what her name is and what her hobbies are. She can still answer correctly. But when asked questions related to flowers, she became scared and then asked to go to sleep. A few days later, there was a lot of information online about S-rank female hunter Sung Mina suddenly missing. If she doesn't get her memories back soon, Yu Huinsen will probably become a kidnapper. But currently Yu Huinsen cannot appear. He had to run to this remote forest to help Sung Mina recover her memories. Until she recovered, then he could return. Then Yu Huinsen walked out. The demon sword was still diligently practicing swordplay. In his hand was Tianma's ultimate martial arts book, a master martial arts secret that Yu Huinsen had bought as a gift for him in the store. At this time, Yu Huinsen needed 1 billion followers and needed 10 or more S-level followers. It was very important to cultivate the demon sword to S-level. At this moment, Yu Huinsen received notice that 2 more followers had become S-rank, the Saint Enti and the Ant Inho. Yu Huinsen was surprised at the speed of the ant's growth. If so, then the goal of having 10 S-rank followers is not too far away. Compared to making an S-rank hunter become his follower, Yu Huinsen found it easier to turn his follower into an S-rank. Yu Huinsen then entered the store and bought many growth potions, which worked on Songmiri, the Inho ant. Then perhaps it will also work on the demon sword. Then Yu Huinsen threw it to him and reminded him to use it after practice. Suddenly at this time, a strange object flew from the sky, destroying a corner of the yard where Yu Huinsen and the demon sword were standing. His name was Baekyeolhun, a class hunter who possesses extremely powerful firepower. As soon as he arrived, he shouted loudly towards Yu Huinsen, "Where is my son Mina?" The young man Quikin did not know that the newcomer was an S-rank hunter, so he immediately volunteered to let him deal with this guy. Before he could express anything, Baekyeolhun had to make a sword, and the demon sword immediately turned into a black lump of coal. Immediately after, he teleported in front of Yu Huinsen, grabbed him by the neck, and questioned Sung Mina's location. Yu Huinsen realized that this guy's soul sword was unexpectedly a red dragon. The heat he emitted made Yu Huinsen's whole body sweat. The heat is so terrible, it is necessary to reduce the temperature. Then Yu Huinsen pointed his finger towards the red dragon soul sword, the index finger of the god's power. Only to see that the red dragon was caught by his father when he went to play a video game. His face turned pale, he trembled, then disappeared. Baekyeolhun's strength also disappeared along with the dragon. While both young men were still arguing loudly, Sung Mina ran out of the house wearing pajamas. She was angry because these 2 names were making noise and affecting her sleep. Then she saw Baekyeolhun grabbing Yu Huinsen's neck. The person she thought was her mother immediately pointed at that guy and said, "You are a bad person, die." A powerful force shot out from Sung Mina's palm and hit Baekyeolhun straight in the body, causing him to fly away and then vomit blood. Seeing that Baekyeolhun's wound was too serious, Yu Huinsen immediately used the skill to heal him, and his whole body quickly recovered completely. Yu Huinsen was also surprised when the price to treat an S-rank hunter was unexpectedly only 100 gold coins. This was a good opportunity to gain more S-rank credits. While Yu Huinsen was preparing to seduce this S-rank hunter into becoming a believer, a few people appeared from the sky to disrupt the situation. This time, 3 helicopters flew directly in. It seemed they were not the ones accompanying the hunter Baekyeolhun because he said he came here alone. From the helicopter, a series of people dressed in black jumped down. But in that conversation, Yu Huinsen recognized a familiar face. It was the old S-rank hunter Choi Kong-san, and next to him was his disciple Song Miri. Could it be that they also considered Yu Huinsen a kidnapper? Yu Huinsen didn't know how to explain this case. They are in a situation that cannot be explained rationally. Yu Huinsen then recounted the entire incident. The rest of the story and the reason Song Miri placed the seal on his sister were also clarified. The two Song sisters hugged each other and burst into tears. Both of them clearly understand the feelings that the other has for them. As for Yu Huinsen, he was given a license by Hunter Choi Kong-san's daughter, confirming he was a B-level awakened hunter. Even though the data and strength are only C-level, due to the guarantee of Hunter Choi Kong-san and that strange flower, it is set to B-level. As soon as they heard about the strange flower, two S-rank hunters like Choi Kong-san and Song Miri were extremely scared. They had already formed an obsession with that flower. Old man Choi Kong-san then solicited Yu Huinsen to come work for him. Becoming a B-level hunter was enough for Yu Huinsen to be qualified to go to the Hunter Academy to teach. But Yu Huinsen is currently very busy, raising ants, writing manuscripts, and doing the mission of finding followers. These things take up all of his time. But when he heard the old man say that he could double his salary with a salary schedule that looked at so many numbers, Yu Huinsen immediately turned around and immediately agreed to become a teacher. In fact, his dream since childhood was to stand on the podium. The next day, Yu Huinsen immediately got the job, because yesterday's homeroom teacher was beaten and sent to the hospital, so today he took his place and taught. Next to Yu Huinsen was the demon sword guy, with his taciturn face scaring the students to death. After asking Song Miri, Yu Huinsen learned that this class was physical education class, so he immediately gave the class a self-study period, then fell asleep in front of the students. The demon sword next to him raised his long sword to threaten the students. Anyone who makes noise that disturbs the sword saint's sleep should take care of him. His energy radiated almost like that of an S-rank hunter, terrifying the students, making them not even dare to breathe loudly. The following days were still self-study sessions for the students. Yu Huinsen's job was just to go to class, yawn, and then fall asleep. After 5 days of self-study, the students finally had a fencing practice session. Yu Huinsen assigned the students to pair up with whoever they wanted. But it was no different when he entrusted teaching assistant Kui Kim to manage and then went back to sleep. But at this moment, a purple-haired student raised her hand to speak. She said she had no classmates. Because there were 21 people in their class, one person was the odd one out, so she wanted teacher Yu Huinsen himself to be her partner. It turns out that yesterday Yu Huinsen was reminded about not getting paid if he works half-heartedly, so now he will have to pretend that he is also working. This girl seemed to have an intention when she gave birth to Yu Huinsen as her partner. She even muttered that "You damn teacher stole your salary, let's see how I kick your ass." This girl seemed to be Song Miri's self. Even though he heard her muttering, Yu Huinsen couldn't argue because he really just went to class and slept and then received his salary. But the truth for those sleepless nights of Yu Huinsen is because he had to give up his bed to the two sisters Song Miri and Mina. Not to mention, the two S-rank hunters Choi Kong-san and Betrayal also came here to drink and then slept soundly at his house, making him unable to teach the students properly because he was always sleepy. These two future Korean S-rank hunters have been sleeping at his house for a whole week, drinking every day and then getting drunk like that. The first day was a drinking party to congratulate Yu Huinsen on getting a new job, then on the rainy day it was because the weather was nice. Not drinking would be a sin against nature. Yu Huinsen once thought that this might affect the recovery progress of Sung Mina's car, but she was the one who responded most enthusiastically to drinking. And then, when Dung woke up from her sleep, Yu Huinsen was the one who had to serve her a meal. How can you blame Yu Huinsen for falling asleep while teaching? The next day, shocking news across the country was posted on the bulletin board. Urgent news. Immigrant S-class hunter Sergey Brin, reported missing, was found dead in a hotel in Gangwon-do. This incident, according to experts, is the appearance of a terrible monster with the ability to kill even S-level hunters. This news made two S-rank hunters, Choi Kong-san and Betrayal, extremely surprised. They also discovered a line written in blood at the scene. According to experts, it is not hunter Sergei's handwriting but someone else's. Its meaning is a sacrifice to the gods. They immediately used teleportation skills to investigate this incident. Back to this moment, Yoo In-sun was being asked by the student in front of him to pair up with her. With the appraisal skill, Yoo In-sun can see that her name is Gomi Aeong and especially that she possesses necromancy skills. After that, I only saw her using necromancy. From behind appeared a giant zombie. That is the level 7 giant Hades zombie in the underworld. She immediately ordered Hades to attack teacher Yoo In-sun, but he did not listen to Gomi Aeong's orders and knelt before Yoo In-sun. It says that the lowly loser is honored to meet your great and mighty being. The summoner's orders are absolute. The summoned person will not be able to resist, but at this time, Hades did not listen to the summoner's orders and just quietly knelt down to pay his respects to Yoo In-sun. Just like that, he subdued it without having to move. At this time, Yoo In-sun received Hades' memories. That's when he wasn't his current zombie form. The one who became the giant god's knight with all dignity. He failed to protect the female pastor and died in battle. Hades became a resentful zombie and wandered aimlessly in the underworld for thousands of years until he was summoned by Gomi Aeong. A notification pops up. Does Yoo In-sun want to accept the fallen knight of Confucius Lagoon as a believer? An announcement said that if the trust was successfully dumped, it might take a lot of holy magic, but Yoo In-sun has the ability to help Hades evolve. After Yoo In-sun confirmed using holy magic to evolve Hades, only Hades' whole body glowed. It roared, followed by the sight of Hades' entire body transforming, the zombie Hades officially evolving into the Dark Knight Hades. Even so, Hades still knelt before Yoo In-sun, thanked him for his kindness, and vowed to become a strong shield for Yoo In-sun. At this time, Yoo In-sun also successfully obtained 4 S-rank followers, and the progress of completing the mission increased day by day. Because of using a large amount of holy magic, at this time Yoo In-sun felt a headache, his whole body lost strength, and he fell to the ground unconscious. Yoo In-sun realized he had the ability to use holy magic to evolve his followers, but this required a lot of holy magic from him. But maybe this is worth it. In addition, he also knew one thing: when he was in his dream, he was able to directly meet the gods watching him that before he could only see through the status window. Today as the god of prosperity, she let Yoo In-sun rest her head to sleep on her lap. At the same time, Sungmina was with her daughter Choi Kong-san waiting for Yoo In-sun to get off work. While happily playing with a lollipop, Sungmina suddenly dropped it. Her whole body trembled, fear saying there was a monster, a scary monster coming here to devour her. From outside the Hunter Academy, a stranger with a hooded scarf and a scary expression was approaching. He was able to locate the place where the 2 sacrifices were hiding. But why is one of them immature? He needed to personally check the cause of this. After that stranger walked straight into the academy. Security appeared and asked him to leave because of his strange behavior. Without saying the second sentence, he chopped off the guard's head in front of everyone. Then 2 other guards also rushed forward. But they couldn't defeat that stranger for more than 2 seconds, just a wave of their hand wiped out all of those guards. A red alert was sounded throughout the entire academy. A stranger broke in, countless hunters quickly appeared to stop that stranger. But to him, except for the 2 offerings, everything in front of him was just trash. The whole group of hunters held enough shields and weapons to attack the stranger, but he did not care about these people. From afar, he suddenly saw Songmiri. His mouth immediately showed a disgusting smile. Here was one of the 2 offerings of the god. Then the stranger launched a field, with just a wave of his hand, wiping out these hunters. The demon sword, standing at a distance, had to use all his strength to barely withstand the aftershock of that wave of his hand. There continued to be red warnings asking everyone to move away from the fight and flee to the shelter. The stranger's strength is very great, so you should just run away from there and wait for the director and other S-rank hunters to return as reinforcements. But now it seems it's too late to run away. That stranger has already focused his attention directly on Songmiri. After that, I only saw that stranger change his mind. Its true form turned out to be that of a dragon, and around where they stood a field barrier appeared, something only high-level monsters like hell dragons could summon. The demon sword immediately asked Songmiri to leave. That thing was definitely aimed at her. He would hold out for the time being. But the demon's sword couldn't even withstand a swipe of the dragon's tail. Songmiri could not leave Kui Kim alone to fend off this monster. She immediately unleashed all her strength to unleash a powerful thunderbolt that hit the dragon directly. At the same time, inside the shelter, Sung Mina was crouching in this place. But she could still sense that her sister was in danger. She immediately ran away to rescue her sister. Meanwhile, even though Songmiri used all her strength, her attack only scratched the dragon's itch. It used one arm to smash Songmiri flat on the wall. At this moment, from behind the dragon, Sung Mina came running. When she saw her sister in danger, she immediately used all her strength to attack the dragon. But her mind attack had no effect against a dragon. On the contrary, it was extremely happy when the two sacrifices ran here at once. To save him the trouble of having to search for each person, he used his tail to grab Sung Mina. Now both sisters are like fish lying on the cutting board, letting the dragon deal with it. The two sacrifices had gathered, and the dragon was about to begin the sacrifice process. Sung Mina, in desperation, called out Yu Huinsen's name, "Please save us." That pleading voice was like an alarm bell ringing in Yu Huinsen's head while he was still in a dream. Immediately Yu Huinsen opened his eyes wide. While the dragon was preparing to sacrifice Songmiri first, a blade passed by unexpectedly. Its tail was immediately chopped off. It is Yu Huinsen who successfully rescued Songmiri. Now in a frantic state, wanting to deal with this damn monster immediately. The dragon was angry when the sacrifice ceremony for the god was ruined at the last moment by this human in front of him. It frantically rushed to attack Yu Huinsen, but only saw its entire body being slashed by Yu Huinsen's madness, causing injuries all over its body. After just a moment, it was seen that its entire body was covered in fresh blood. It recognized that Yu Huinsen was strong, but that was not its true strength. Now it will unleash its true full power. It decided to sacrifice this human being to destroy the god. If so, he will probably be extremely pleased with this gift. The monster's entire body turned purple, a dark power radiated throughout the monster's body. But Yu Huinsen was not afraid at all. He scratched his nose and asked if this was all he had. But it seemed that Yu Huinsen was too subjective. He jumped up and slashed the monster's neck, but this time the blade couldn't even cut its flesh. The monster's entire body looked like it had just undergone a transformation, completely different from before. Yu Huinsen did not believe it, so he swung his sword and slashed repeatedly, but was grabbed by the monster's arm. It despised the sword in Yu Huinsen's hand. This old sword could not cut into the flesh given to it by the gods. Then the dragon punched Yu Huinsen in the chest, causing him to directly vomit blood and shoot dozens of meters away. It then grabbed Yu Huinsen's head and burned his entire body. This monster intends to use Yu Huinsen as a sacrifice to destroy the god. Yu Huinsen tried to use the ring finger skill to heal his body, but the holy power just now had consumed too much. Now there is not enough holy magic to use this skill anymore. Yu Huinsen is now truly facing death. His eyes are gradually becoming blurry. Hades rushed from afar to attack the monster to rescue Yu Huinsen. But before it could touch it, the monster pushed it 100 meters away. Yu Huinsen was now wondering if he had been too reckless when he had just become a false god. But now Yu Huinsen could hear and feel the desperate prayers his followers had for him. The most sincere wishes and tears falling for him. That made his whole body want to break the old limit. Something inside him was boiling. A message appears: some of your strength has been restored due to the influence of your followers' prayers and tears for you. Skill sharing from the demonic sword in Hades has been added, gaining 2 additional skills of the magical demonic sword and blessing from the immortal Hades. Only to see that the monster's arm was severed, an illusory demon sword skill by Yu Huinsen was released, and a huge explosion erupted within the barrier field. Outside, 2 S-rank hunters, Choi Kong-san and Becca Elhun, were extremely angry. They couldn't break this barrier. That damn monster lured all the S-rank hunters away and then attacked the Hunter Academy, making it impossible for them to return to the academy in time. But they suddenly realized that the magical barrier was gradually cracking in front of them. Inside, Yoo Insun was now attacking fiercely with a knife in his hand, only to see pieces of skin later. Each of the monster's horns was cut off, and finally a knife was placed in the middle of its body, causing its entire body to be cut in half, and it screamed unwillingly. Why did he lose to such a person after receiving the blessing of the deity? But now its body is no longer intact. Thanks to defeating this monster of a god follower, Yoo Insun also nearly completed the evil god mission, having destroyed 6 people of S rank or higher. From outside the barrier, the hunter rushed towards Yoo Insun, seeing him close his eyes. The two of them thought that Yoo Insun had died and rushed forward crying bitterly. But Hades said he was just sleeping due to exhaustion of holy magic. A week later, Yoo Insun woke up in the hospital. Sung Mina was sitting next to her. She said that Yoo Insun had been in a coma for a week. At the same time, an announcement said that Sung Mina had become a follower of Yoo Insun. Sung Mina is a strong believer in SS level assessment. Suddenly at this moment a giant shark that was seriously injured rushed out from nowhere. It turned out to be Inho's tribute. He knew that Yoo Insun was seriously injured, so he blew up this shark so that Yoo Insun could nourish it and get better quickly. A few days later, Yoo Insun recovered and returned to his usual job as a teacher. The students are now talking. Yoo Insun is Korea's secret weapon. He can also take down the massive monster when their academy is suddenly raided. The whole class stood up and bowed to Yoo Insun with respect, which made Yoo Insun extremely happy. They had never welcomed him even once before, but now the whole class stood up to welcome me. Next is the one-on-one consulting class. Yoo Insun will directly assess each student's information. If anyone is sick, he will use the god's ring finger to cure them. Then Sun, Mary and Kui Kim also entered and fought to get private advice from Yoo Insun. Suddenly, the saint sent a prayer to Yoo Insun. They were facing danger and needed his help. Yoo Insun could see the urgent situation of the ants right now. They are facing an extremely powerful monster, a follower of the ruler of the Abyss Swamp. It possesses infinite regeneration and has up to 5 heads and a powerful and scheming beast follower tiger and a fiery lion beast. All 3 of these monsters were slaughtering the Black Clan. Their strength could even surpass the monster that Yoo Insun killed yesterday. If this continues, there is a high possibility that the Black Clan will be completely destroyed. If that happened, the source of Yoo Insun's power would disappear. The remaining time until Arachne and her army of 100 billion bugs attack is 78 hours, 12 minutes, and 5 seconds. Yoo Insun cannot imagine how terrible the number of 100 billion bugs must be. With that amount, even a truckload of pesticides wouldn't be able to kill them all. Yoo Insun could not be confident that he could save the ants from those monsters. Just one monster from yesterday had messed him up so much. This time you have to face 3 followers at once along with 100 billion bugs. This time Yoo Insun really screwed me up. When a person is about to drown, they will immediately look for a life preserver. And Yoo Insun's lifesaver is old hunter Choi Kong-san. That is to win him over to become a follower so that he can complete the task of becoming a low-level god. That's the only chance right now when time is running out for him. But the same keyword that Song Miri said before was not effective on this old man. When he followed Yoo Insun's words, nothing happened. Could it be that this old man still doesn't trust Yoo Insun completely? Then the old man asked Yoo Insun if he possessed a very powerful healing skill, right? Can he save a dying person? A quest notification for S-rank Choi Kong-san was created. The quest requires Yoo Insun to heal Choi Kong-san's friend and show him the power of the great god. The reward is his faith. This is an opportunity for Yoo Insun to gain old man Choi as a follower. Just do it now, don't hesitate. Later, Yoo Insun was taken to a hospital in front of a room guarded by countless bodyguards. The old man's friend lying inside was a star girl, looking extremely young. According to old man Choi, her name is Miracle. Although she looks quite young now, she was actually a person and friend born to Choi Kong-san when she was young on the battlefield. Now her lifespan is gradually running out. Doctors and therapists have tried everything, but all failed. Yu Huinsen is also not sure whether he can cure her or not. But when using appraisal, for the first time Yu Huinsen encountered a case of a person whose age he could not see. From Yu Huinsen's head, a voice rang out that gentlemen would not ask a woman's age. It seemed to belong to that person named Miracle. She was communicating with Yu Huinsen through the space of contemplation. Yu Huinsen's consciousness was now transferred to another place, inside Miracle's contemplation space, a skill quite similar to Sung Mina's consciousness space skill. What's more surprising is that as soon as Yu Huinsen appeared, she said she knew, plus, she felt that Yu Huinsen was the embodiment of evil. But in reality, Yu Huinsen is quite gentle and kind. She said her body was basically dead. So I'm not sure if Yu Huinsen's skill will work or not, but let's try it right here. Yu Huinsen's power is much better than he thought. Hearing that, Yu Huinsen immediately used his ring finger on Miracle's body. But after a while, a message appeared that the treatment failed. Yu Huinsen's current holy power was not enough to cure her body. But then she only saw Miracle kneeling in front of Yu Huinsen. She said perhaps it was because Yu Huinsen was still too young and had many shortcomings. But she believes that Yu Huinsen's future can develop further. She will entrust her destiny and the whole earth into Yu Huinsen's hands. A message appears congratulating you on getting another miracle. Her value is SS. What a surprise! Yu Huinsen's mission has now reached progress 8 out of 10, only missing 2 more S-rank progress, and that's enough. Before the world fell apart, she suggested to Yu Huinsen to continue rescuing other small worlds like he was doing now. There will come a day when your power will increase, you will be able to save our very world. The answer you seek is closer than you think. Yu Huinsen then returned to the Hunter Academy, the mission entrusted to him by old man Choi Kong-sen he could not complete. Yu Huinsen just had to find another way to find more progress like Miracle suggested. Yu Huinsen then realized the improvement in Demon Sword's swordsmanship. He had improved a lot compared to when he first met. His swordsmanship, thanks to learning the secrets that Yu Huinsen exchanged with the gods, has now improved dramatically. After that, the demon sword had a duel with Hades, but the strength between a level and S level was still too great. The demon sword was easily knocked unconscious by Hades. As for the Song Miri sisters, the older sister was trying to remove the seal inside Miri's body. She thought carefully. Unlock the seal so Miri can protect herself, rather than helplessly becoming a sacrifice to the evil dragon. In the end, Mariko's suggestion was that the people around Yu Huinsen, specifically the demon sword or Song Miri or both, he was not sure of anything. It's currently 8 out of 10. As long as Demon Sword and Song Miri advance to S rank, the mission will be completed, but time is extremely urgent. Yu Huinsen couldn't wait for the two of them. There were only 48 hours left before the monsters attacked. Yu Huinsen thought it was time to train himself. He decided to go to sleep so he could enter the dream world to practice with the dream chaser. Because time in the dream world passes much slower than in reality, it means that Yu Huinsen can practice in a dream for 3 months, which is equivalent to 2 days in reality. This place is the residence of Heavenly Tao Absolute Iron. In the previous battle with the dragon monster, Yu Huinsen's sword was broken. He had to leave it here to have it repaired by Tian Dao Tuat Thiat, but it has not been repaired yet because it was severely damaged and needed a lot of time to recover. Then, helplessly, Yu Huinsen had to bribe Heavenly Tao Tuat Thiat with 1 million gold coins to borrow another sword from him. But what Yu Huinsen received was a wooden sword. It felt like Yu Huinsen himself was being scammed by the old man. But he said that this sword looks like that but is not like that, just try it to see how powerful it is. Yu Huinsen used appraisal to find out that this wooden sword was 850 years old and it was personally used by the founder of the Hoa Sun sect to practice swordsmanship. Yu Huinsen immediately picked up this wooden sword to try. As soon as he held it, Yu Huinsen had a feeling about the sword. Or maybe the founder of the Hoa Sun sect had something to tell him through this sword, but he still couldn't understand what specifically. Then Tian Dao Tuat Thiat gave a cunning smile and said they would start the hell training session. His request was very simple. As long as Yu Huinsen can hit him once, the training is complete, and the time left for the attack is 30 hours. It sounds like hitting him with one blow is quite simple, but in reality, Yu Huinsen has never been able to do that before. The power of Tian Dao Tuat Thiat must be said to be absolutely tyrannical. He beat Yu Huinsen without a second of resistance. If he could only dislodge the object to defend himself, how would he have a chance to attack and hit him once? Just like that, Yu Huinsen practiced with the Heavenly Knife Absolute Iron day after day, practicing while consuming countless growth potions. Time passed quickly like a dog running in the field. Now there were only 20 hours left before the attack of the monsters. Yu Huinsen, after a long time of dealing with Heavenly Knife Absolute Iron, has grasped his weaknesses and attack methods. After a quick acceleration, Yu Huinsen finally succeeded in hitting Tian Dao Tuat Thiat's body. Tian Dao Tuat Thiat praised Yu Huinsen for progressing very quickly. He felt very proud of Yu Huinsen and did not forget to ask Yu Huinsen for a bottle of growth medicine. His mission here completed, Yu Huinsen moved location to the Muscle Temple to practice with the Seeker of Eternal Truth. Yu Huinsen's exercises here are very simple, just lift weights, but the problem is that the weights weigh up to 2 tons. Yu Huinsen thought about the future of the ants. If he didn't try his best, it was likely that the entire ants would be destroyed. In that case, even Yu Huinsen himself would be implicated. He immediately activated all his limbs and used all his strength to lift those 2 2-ton weights. After several days of effort, Yu Huinsen finally succeeded in lifting those 2 2-ton dumbbells. The countdown time now only has 10 hours left. The next training challenge is Manga. In this place Yu Huinsen must wield a sword and fight with carnivorous flowers. Their power is too terrible. To the point that top hunters like Choi Kong-san or Sung Mina, after being defeated and swallowed by them, left a deep psychological obsession in their subconscious. After a period of practice, Yu Huinsen finally completed his training with the carnivorous flowers. The time for the battle was now just over a minute. However, the synchronous progress at this time has only reached 49%. Yu Huinsen's goal is to reach 50% to receive the reward, but it seems there is no more time. If you want to add 1%, you need to drink at least 2,000 more growth potions to achieve it. But time did not allow Yu Huinsen to do it anymore. As long as there is life, there is hope. 1 minute is also time. Yu Huinsen wanted to take advantage of this last minute to see how strong he had become during his training. Yu Huinsen immediately rushed forward and grabbed the carnivorous flowers. Manga seems to be a strange person. The harder Yu Huinsen hits him, the happier he gets. Just going harder and harder made Yu Huinsen feel extremely disgusted. But when the countdown time ends, the synchronization progress reaches 50% synchronization. A newly opened possibility is that Yu Huinsen can directly involve the land of Antia. Land of Ants. In addition, the psychology and endurance of an A-level progress will increase under the effect of synchronization. It seems that this privilege is aimed directly at the 2 people Kui Kim and Songmiri to help them achieve S times as quickly as possible. Immediately after that, a series of warnings appeared. The first attack of the Beast Army has begun. This incident marked the beginning of a war that could threaten the fate of Yu Huinsen himself. At the same time, in Antia, the land of the Black Tribe, an army numbering 5 billion was gradually moving closer to the citadel. The girl was now on the front line. When she saw the number of enemy soldiers, she couldn't help but tremble in fear. The starting point for the war is the army of flies. They will take on the role of pioneering assault positions. Hundreds of millions of flies followed the commander's orders to attack the castle, now from the sky. A crack opened, and from inside a giant foot appeared. One step crushed countless flies. Coming out from inside was Yu Huinsen with his army of insecticides. This was exactly what he was specially prepared to do with these fly monsters. After these flies saw the weapon Yu Huinsen brought, they all trembled in fear. No longer have the courage to move forward. They turned around and ran en masse. The god's powerful index finger extended. Hundreds of thousands of bug sprays are sprayed at once. The flies, after being exposed to the smoke, seemed to be extremely poisonous. Their bodies quickly rotted and then disappeared into nothingness. Even though hundreds of millions of flies have been destroyed, their number is too large. Yu Hu still saw crowds of monsters from below. It seems like those little monsters won't be able to do anything to Yu Hu against one of the three followers of the god. The winged tiger was the first to attack Yu Hu. As soon as it got close, the tiger used its wings to flap continuously. Borrowed the force of the wind to blow away Yu Hu-insen's countless bug killers. Opened the way for the monster army below to attack. If that 5 billion army is allowed to get close to the Black Clan's stronghold, those ants will definitely face death. Yu Hu-insen immediately activated the god's powerful index finger. The entire insect spray sprayed out at once, blowing away the attack rhythm of the insect army. Suddenly, the winged tiger beast opened its mouth wide. After that, I saw the monster devouring a series of small monsters. It is trying to become stronger by sacrificing them, eating them as sacrifices. Hundreds, millions of insects were sacrificed by them just to make that tiger stronger. While that tiger was continuously devouring to increase its strength, an army of red dragonflies was sent to attack Yu Hu-insen. They are described as having sharp teeth that can bite even rocks. Yu Hu-insen immediately cast Iron Body. Those dragonflies rushed towards Yu Hu-insen's iron body and immediately fell dead, but their number was too large. After just a moment, Yu Hu-insen was no longer visible, everything was just a bright red color because the dragonflies had covered his body. From inside, Yu Hu-insen's rotten finger split, the middle finger of God's judgment, a fire covered Yu Hu-insen's entire body, roasting all the dragonflies in an instant. Not stopping there, Yu Hu-insen continued to snap his fingers. The fire quickly spread towards the monsters, roasting them in just a moment. The monsters trampled each other to run away. In exchange for these things, Yu Hu-insen began to show signs of exhaustion after launching a series of moves continuously. The army of monsters is up to 100 billion, but it's already so hard to fight a billion somewhere. And Yu Hu-insen didn't understand why. The fire lion monster kept staring at Yu Hu-insen. He used appraisal and discovered that it was angry because it saw that the fire that Yu Hu-insen used was identical to its owner's fire. What a crazy monster. This time the fiery lion personally went into battle. He told the nun that this time he would take 100 million sacrifices to be able to deploy his power. Then from the lion's mouth, a very powerful fire was blown out, wiping out 100 million sacrifices in one go. Thanks to that, the fire lion's body became much larger than before. Immediately the fiery lion rushed forward to attack Yu Hu-insen. Even though he was able to react in time to use a finger to block the god's power, at this time a message showed that the holy power was not enough, and Yu Hu-insen failed to perform the skill. As a result, the lion successfully rushed forward and stabbed Yu Hu-insen directly on the body, causing him to vomit blood and fly dozens of meters away. Lying on the ground, Yu Hu-insen thought that perhaps he had truly failed. No matter how much the Black Clan worshipped him, it couldn't change the fact that Yu Hu-insen was born as a weak person. How can someone like him protect the safety of the saint and the entire Black Clan? Then the goddess Anti appeared. She encouraged Yu Hu-insen to try harder, then tried to use her ring finger skill to heal Yu Hu-insen's body. But that was impossible when the lion's fire completely blocked the ability to recover. That lion was arrogant, decrying the fact that a dirty god like Yu Hu-insen dared to use the same fire as his master. It is an insult to its owner. The lion then rushed forward intending to finish off Yu Hu-insen and sacrifice him to its master. At this moment, from within the tower, the number one great warrior of Yu Hu-insen was the ant Inho. It saw the urgent situation at this time. It clasped its hands and begged Yu Hu-insen to help it descend to earth. It would defeat those monsters. Yu Hu-insen immediately agreed. Then Inho was summoned before Yu Hu-insen. It told Yu Hu-insen that he should rest assured, in the tower it had killed countless monsters similar to this group. Yu Hu-insen was amazed at Inho's outstanding progress. As expected of being the number one under Yu Hu-insen, very proud. But at this moment, the winged tiger flew from nowhere and swallowed Inho into its mouth. He also said Inho was too small, not enough to fit between his teeth. Yu Hu-insen watched helplessly as Inho was swallowed by the tiger. He now doesn't even have enough holy magic to use a skill. At this moment, the heavenly sword sent a message saying that Yu Hu-insen's previous kitchen knife had been repaired. He sent it to Yu Hu-insen and has a few more things for you. Then, just behind Yu Huinsen's body, a sword with a completely different appearance suddenly appeared. As soon as Yu Huinsen held it, a huge wave of power enveloped his entire body. The moment Yu Huinsen touched the sword, all three monsters felt a fatal threat. This is absolutely not something they can resist. The lion was the first to run away, but Yu Huinsen performed a heavenly demon dynasty technique. A slash slashed the fiery lion's body in two, along with the 5 heads of the snake also gone at the same time. There was only one winged tiger left. It took advantage of its ability to fly, so it hit up high so Yu Huinsen couldn't hit it. But it was the one that Yu Huinsen wanted to kill the most, that damn tiger that dared to eat and swallow his number one subordinate alive. Yu Huinsen vowed to cut down this tiger. But at this moment, Yu Huinsen's body was shaking again, his holy power was exhausted again after the heavenly demon king dynasty attack just now. The tiger also realized that this guy seemed to have lost all his strength after using the move just now, so this was his chance. The tiger opened its mouth wide, intending to launch a move to finish off Yu Huinsen, when suddenly a force from somewhere rushed towards Yu Huinsen, making the tiger tremble in fear. A notification appears: the seal of Song Miri's disciple on Earth has been released. Song Miri now possesses transcendent abilities. Thanks to Song Miri, Yu Huinsen's body was now filled with holy power again, and the mission to upgrade to a low-level good god had also reached 9 out of 10, only waiting for the demon sword. Yu Huinsen realized that this was a good opportunity. He would cast the heavenly demon king dynasty again. This time he must kill this damn tiger. Surprise continued to happen when the 5-headed snake monster was able to stand up again. Its heads cut off by Yu Huinsen were gradually growing back. It flashed a sly smile towards Yu Huinsen and said, "No surprise, bastard, I'm back." Its body was blessed with immortality. Things like the pathetic sword couldn't cut it to death. Yu Huinsen realized that that was the meaning of the words that could regenerate endlessly when Yu Huinsen read the information of this snake. If so, then killing it has become meaningless. We need to think of another way to deal with it. The pig solved the math problem, and the sword in Yu Huinsen's hand suddenly spoke. "Headless snake, what did you just curse? How dare you call your father a pathetic sword? Do you know who your father is?" The pressure that the sword radiated terrified both Yu Huinsen and the snake. Both were surprised that this sword could communicate and have its own thoughts. Then I saw the sword laughing loudly, a contemptuous laugh towards the snake. Then I saw the snake suddenly fly away with one of its heads. It realized that it had been cursed by that sword, but it had the ability to regenerate endlessly. It only needed to wait a moment to grow again. The sword continued to laugh. "Do you really think you can still be reborn after being cursed by me? From the moment you dared to call me pathetic, you were destined to die." Only then did the snake's entire body catch fire. It screamed for its owner to save it, but it was too late. It had disappeared forever. A message appeared: "Congratulations on successfully defeating the apostle of the ruler of the Abyss Swamp. Valued as SS, the evil god level up quest scored 8 out of 10. After absorbing that monster, Yu Huinsen could feel his whole body overflowing with power, but he had forgotten one thing. It was the winged tiger. While Yu Huinsen was constantly fighting with the snake, the winged tiger was up there preparing a blow with all its power. It was certain that this winged wind attack would destroy Yu Huinsen's dirty body. But surprise happened again. Suddenly the tiger flying high screamed in pain and then fell to the ground. It writhed in pain, screaming, "My stomach hurts so much, it's about to explode." Then the tiger's stomach suddenly exploded, only to see the inho ant flying out from inside. It turned out that it intentionally let the tiger swallow it. If such big guys attack from within, they won't be able to resist. At this time, after the battle situation calmed down, Yu Huinsen raised the sword in his hand and asked who he was. Yu Huinsen could be sure that this was the kitchen knife from before. But the words are completely different. What strange sword is this? Yu Huinsen asked Tian Dao Tuet Thiet, but he dodged this question. Suddenly, the fire lion that had been cut in half by Yu Huinsen before suddenly spoke again. It cursed Yu Huinsen for daring to slash the precious body given to it by its master. Then it shouted to the priestess to sacrifice to it, this time not 100 million or a billion, but the entire remaining army of 100 billion. Sacrifice them all, it must kill with Yu Huinsen. Then the lion unleashed a fire, which burned down the entire army of insects, and at the same time, the lion's body also became much larger. Yuhu Insen took a giant rock and threw it at the lion, but under the pressure of the fire that its body emitted, the rock quickly melted. Yuhu Insen didn't know what to do with this monster when the sword in his hand spoke. There was nothing to be afraid of. Just rush forward and slash it. With a giant-sized monster using that weak fire, all you have to do is slash it. I don't know what the origin of this sword is, but that terrible fire in its mouth is only a weak flame. Although it was quite crazy, Yuhu Insen had no other choice at this time. He would trust this sword once. Heavenly Demon King launched, nothing happened. Yuhu Insen knew right away, he should not have trusted this sword. Don't believe Tien Dao Tuet Thiet says he will deliver for free. If a stingy guy like him suddenly offers free shipping, I'm already suspicious. The fiery lion stung Yuhu Insen, who only had one skill and kept using it over and over again. As it was still in the middle of speaking, its body suddenly split into two. At this time, Yuhu Insen's attack was effective. Its body was split and then disappeared in the fire. Yuhu Insen was surprised that this time after the fight he no longer fainted. Could it be that he had become stronger? But at this time, Mong Votan and Tien Dao Tuet Thiet sent a message to Yuhu Insen. They said, look up at the sky, another fire lion bigger and stronger than the one just appeared. According to experts, there have been two sun gods since ancient times, but these two have been fighting each other for hundreds of years. One of them was sealed, and when Yuhu Insen defeated the last one, the seal of this one was released. Tien Dao Tuet Thiet said that person was just a remnant of the sun god, but he was once a high-ranking god. It's better for Yuhu Insen to give up and commit suicide. There's no chance of winning. The situation right now is too critical. Yuhu Insen's holy power has been exhausted after the recent battles. And this fire lion that has just been released is radiating a terrible heat, about to burn everything. Suddenly, Yuhu Insen saw Ilo standing on the winged tiger. He asked Ilo to quickly hand over the tribute. Ilo immediately threw the winged tiger's corpse to Yuhu Insen, thus completing Yuhu Insen's mission of being promoted to a low-level evil god. Yuhu Insen was officially promoted to a low-level demon god. An evil force of holy force energy crept into Yuhu Insen's body. At this time, the heat of the sun god had spread everywhere in the black tribe. Yuhu Insen immediately used the power of the god's index finger. A black light different from usual flew straight towards the fire lion. But the attack of a low-level god compared to someone who was once a high-level god was just like scratching an itch. Yuhu Insen's attack could not hurt that fire lion. At this time the heat had reached its peak. The Black Clan's castle was melting rapidly. If we really can't do anything to this monster, the entire Ant Clan will be roasted alive. This time on the demon sword side. He finally succeeded in comprehending the second move in the heavenly demon god's sword, along with a stream of purple power light running straight into Yuhu Insen's body. The second heavenly demon god scroll also helped the sword in Yuhu Insen's hand remember its true identity. From within the sword, a soul appeared and introduced itself as Tien Ma. With the eyes of the eyeless god, Yuhu Insen can see Tien Ma's past. He personally killed his daughter, the one who became the apostle of the god of destruction. And he also killed millions of his daughter's followers, then committed suicide. Tien Ma spent thousands of years looking for someone to help him take revenge on the god of destruction. Although he was tricked into losing his memory, thanks to the demon sword, Tien Ma regained his memory. Tien Ma now spoke up and asked Yuhu Insen, "Can you take revenge on that god of destruction on my behalf?" Yuhu Insen replied to Tien Ma that maybe if one day he had to face that god of destruction, he would definitely kill him with one blow. Hearing this answer, Tien Ma laughed loudly, then surrendered all his power to Yuhu Insen. "He is worthy to be my master." Tien Ma officially became a follower of Yuhu Insen. Thanks to that, Yuhu Insen also successfully promoted to a low-level good god. Continuing is the god's powerful index finger skill, but it seems this attack still can't do anything to that lion monster. Heavenly Demon suggested to Yuhu Insen that to defeat this monster, he needed to use a larger fire. Then Heavenly Demon taught Yuhu Insen how to use Heavenly Demon Holy Sword, which is the second. One slash looked very simple, but the blue light emitted from that slash was able to cut away the lion's flames. Piercing through its layers of defense ended up being the monster's entire body. Then that blue flame stuck to the lion's body, spreading throughout its body, completely burning the monster's body. After the battle, the sky returned to a familiar scene. Yuhu Insen successfully protected the Black Clan. Yuhu Insen had also exhausted his holy power at this time, so he had to leave everything else to the Saint and Ilo, then left. Thanks to winning the general attack of the monsters, Yuhu Insen's fame spread throughout the continent. Yuhu Insen can now challenge himself with the quest to ascend to intermediate god status for good and evil gods. After returning to the familiar room, Yuhu Insen immediately asked Tien Dao Tuat Thiat to continue repairing this Tien Ma sword. It was quite damaged after the recent war. After a while of haggling, the price was finally settled on 3 million gold. At this time, old man Choi Kong San called Yuhu Insen, telling him to go to the Hunter Federation immediately. They discovered about 100 eggs of the SS-class monster that attacked the academy that Yuhu Insen defeated earlier. A moment later, Yuhu Insen and the demon sword were present at the Hunter Federation. Old man Choi Kong San and the two Sung Miri sisters were also present. In the room, all the S-rank hunters in the country were present to observe that SS-rank monster egg. Yuhu Insen noticed that there were a few familiar people in this room, such as this SIL Hun ranked guy. There are also some quite strange people. Especially this girl wearing a penguin mask, whom Yuhu Insen couldn't use his appraisal skills to look up any of her information on. Then an egg believed to belong to the monster that attacked the academy was brought in. They brought it here from far away Africa. Among hundreds of eggs, this was the only one that hadn't hatched yet. Yuhu Insen remembered the monster that attacked the academy that time. He fought it and was defeated. Now there are still 99 of them crawling around out there. How annoying. At this moment, the egg suddenly shook violently, then cracks appeared, and then a mini version of the monster hatched. Everyone who saw it thought it was so cute. It spoke a language that people didn't understand at all. Only Yuhu Insen heard that he had just found his mother's mortal enemy. Immediately that monster rushed to attack Yuhu Insen to avenge its mother, but Yuhu Insen realized its speed was too slow. Is it because this one just hatched so slowly, or is it because he has promoted to a low-level god so he has become stronger, but did not let Yuhu Insen show off? An S-rank hunter named Ilhun punched a monster and sent it flying away, followed by a group of S-rank hunters torturing the monster. Beat the boy until his eyes and nose were running, he cried and screamed, but no one understood. Right after that, Butcher John Ilhun was about to stomp on this crocodile to death. Another old S-rank hunter named Saduk stopped him. He is also known as the one-man army. The argument between the two S-rank hunters made the whole building shake. Neither of them gave in to the other. John Ilhun immediately summoned a spirit armor ready to fight to the death with this old man. In the end, Choi Kong San had to step in to stop the civil war. If these two guys were not together here, the association owner would definitely collapse. Yuhu Insen was still leisurely sitting on the chair watching a good show. The fight between two S-rank hunters is always something that attracts everyone. Suddenly a mission appeared: rescue the son of the believer Gustav. It is a male alligator, hatched 5 minutes ago. It's scared to death. If you save it, a small miracle will appear. Yuhu Insen saw that a small miracle had appeared and immediately became excited, but how to rescue it? Could he have fought with those two S-rank hunters? But we still have to save it. After Yuhu Insen agreed to save it, the monster immediately disappeared from the association owner. After opening the phone, the skin-turned crocodile was transported into the world of the Black Tribe. It looks quite cute. The important thing is that the monster has been gone for a while, but no one noticed that the two S-rank hunters were still busy arguing. Suddenly at this moment the masked girl with the column wings stood from behind Yuhu Insen. He was startled and worried that this girl knew everything. But she didn't say anything, then turned around and left. S-level hunters are all crazy, right? Suddenly, the demon sword broke through the wall and rushed in from outside, raising his sword and shouting loudly, "Sword Saint, what's going on? Who is bothering you?" Right then another S-rank guy recognized the demon sword. He seemed to be the soul mate of the demon sword, but the demon sword pretended not to know him. Yu Hu-insen realized his opportunity was here. This is a good opportunity for Yu Hu-insen to play the cards. He immediately pretended to drag the demon sword out for disturbing the peace. Thanks to that, it is easy to leave this noisy and chaotic place. After Yu Hu-insen and the demon sword left, I heard Choi Kong-san scream, "Oh my god, where is the crocodile?" Next, the two S-rank hunters continuously blamed the other for hiding the crocodile during their argument. Returning to the Black Clan, the young woman was assigned the task of raising that baby crocodile. She also gave it the name Yuji, a name that can be considered extremely bad. Yu Hu-insen also carefully placed a very strong seal on the monster's neck. Even though it was a dog chain, a temporary crocodile chain was also fine. But Yu Hu-insen still didn't know what the little miracle reward was, he still hadn't seen anything. At this time, outside the door where Yu Hu-insen was, an S-rank hunter claiming to be a friend of the demon sword walked in. He said there was something he wanted to ask Yu Hu-insen. I don't know what he was going to ask, but his hands were already full of strength as if he wanted to fight. First he wanted to know what the relationship between the demon sword and Yu Hu-insen was. Yu Hu-insen couldn't say that they were gods and believers, he could only say that the two of them were colleagues at the Hunter Academy. He was a teacher and Kui Sword was a teaching assistant. When that guy heard that, he immediately said that. That means you're also a member of the three classes. Yu Hu-insen doesn't understand anything. He had never heard of the Triad Society before. Seeing that Yu Hu-insen seemed to be denying it, he immediately intended to throw a palm at Yu Hu-insen to threaten him, but his attack against Yu Hu-insen was just like doing exercise, too slow. At this moment, the demon sword rushed in from outside the window. "You bastard, what are you planning to do to the sword saint?" Then the demon sword swung his sword and slashed repeatedly at that hunter. They both fought and asked each other, "Why didn't you answer my message? Kui Kim, why didn't you answer my call?" Kui Kim said that he blocked the number because he felt like he was being bothered by a pervert. The demon sword said, "Now do you dare to bother your master anymore? If you still consider yourself a swordsman, then quickly kneel down and apologize that day." When that hunter learned that Yu Hu-insen was the owner of the demon sword, he was extremely surprised. He still thought Yu Hu-insen was a member of the three orders and thought the demon sword was too immersed in it. He wanted to prove to the demon sword that he was being deceived by the name Yu Hu-insen. He said that if Yu Hu-insen could block his attack, then he would believe what the demon sword said. Kui Kim also spoke up that this guy is the type of person who needs to be beaten before he will obey. Hearing that, Yu Hu-insen will also decide to use this guy as a guinea pig. Let's see how strong he has become after rescuing the Black Clan and being promoted to a low-level god. Yu Hu-insen immediately used Iron Body. Yu Hu-insen's whole body seemed to turn into a giant. As for the hunter, he was not afraid of big guys. Because his forte is speed, guys with such large bodies are more easily overwhelmed by him. But he didn't know that for Yu Hu-insen, the speed he was proud of was just like a child learning to run, too slow. Before the two punches collided, Sung Mina appeared because they were so good that she couldn't sleep. As soon as she saw that the hunter was about to fight Yu Hu-insen, she immediately thought that this guy was a bad guy. Then the exam transferred the illusory space onto him. "Anyone who dared to touch my Yu Hu-insen must die." That guy, Sung Mina's boss, immediately fainted and blood flowed out. Kui Kim went up to check his pulse and the family was extremely sad to inform him that he was not dead yet. This guy lived as long as the earth. The demon sword then said he would personally take this guy to where he belonged for the crime of daring to bother the sword saint. Then Sung Mina rubbed Yu Hu-insen's face and said, "Don't worry, she will protect him and won't let anyone harm him." At this moment, Song Miri saw strong energy coming from here, so she also ran over. As soon as she entered, she saw her sister and master making love to each other. Finally, Song Miri took her sister out of the room, leaving only Yu Hu-insen to stay and clean up the battlefield due to the recent fight. A low-level god is now sitting here cleaning the house, it's ridiculous. At this time outside the door, the student with the ability to summon ran here to inform Yu Hu-insen that her grandfather wanted to meet Yu Hu-insen. So she thought Yu Hu-insen should run away, before things got worse. Yuhu Insen didn't understand why her grandfather wanted to see her, but she had to run away from here. She said that because he and his sister had seen Hades evolve, they said they had to personally come here to see him. Then, Yuhu Insen saw a car coming in the yard. The person who came out was the quarrelsome old hunter Saduk that Yuhu Insen met at the crocodile egg viewing session. It turns out that the old man known as the one-man army is my student's grandfather. Next to him seemed to be his older sister, but why did she look like a dead body? Old man Choi Kong-san immediately appeared and was not happy to welcome this old man here. Old man Saduk said he only came here to see where his granddaughter studied and to meet someone, and had no intention of causing trouble. On Yuhu Insen's side, he suspected that perhaps the fact that he had mixed up the crocodile had reached the ears of this old man. So now he comes all the way here to reclaim the crocodile, then I'm at a loss. A moment later in Choi Kong-san's room, everyone was present to talk. Old man Saduk asked Yuhu Insen's age. After finding out that he was 23 years old, he immediately decided that he was compatible with his niece next to him. Hearing that, Yuhu Insen didn't understand. Oh, why suddenly ask someone's age and then decide what kind of wedding it is? Could it be that his purpose in coming here is to recruit a grandson-in-law and not to claim the crocodile? The reason that old man chose Yuhu Insen as his grandson-in-law was because he knew Yuhu Insen had the ability to evolve summoners. The most obvious example is the fact that Hades went from being a B-rank warrior, then helped by Yuhu Insen, to become an S-rank soldier. This was the first time he met someone with special abilities like Yuhu Insen. Surely he would not let someone like Yuhu Insen slip away. He doesn't ask for anything fancy. Just let him have 3 grandchildren to continue the family. Yuhu Insen was angry. This old man not only wants to take advantage of me, but also wants to take advantage of my abilities to develop his family? Ridiculous. He immediately slapped a bill worth 1,000 billion won on the table. As long as Yuhu Insen agrees, this ticket will belong to Yuhu Insen. For the first time in his life, Yuhu Insen saw so much money in front of him, and for the first time in his life, Yuhu Insen did not lose his integrity. He flatly refused and said he would never agree to this type of forced marriage, then stood up and left. Suddenly that girl stood up, ran after Yuhu Insen and revealed her eyes. It turns out she is a hybrid of a human and a nightmare, possessing a deadly enchanting ability. Those who looked into her eyes were captivated, but unfortunately Yuhu Insen was an exception. After looking into those eyes but nothing happened, he still stood there picking his nose and then refused their offer. He's appalled at this guy's proposal to possess someone else, so don't bother him anymore. After being cool for 5 seconds, after closing the door, Yuhu Insen regretfully lost 1 trillion won, which would have prevented him from having to work for the rest of his life. But then Yuhu Insen dismissed those thoughts. Compared to forcing himself to marry someone who looked like a demon, it was better to refuse. Suddenly, behind Yuhu Insen, a purple space gate opened. Countless arms grabbed Yuhu Insen from inside and pulled him inside the gate. Returning to Goduk and his niece, he was in the car and asked his niece how she liked that Yuhu Insen guy. She replied that she was very satisfied. The reason why she deliberately wore such ugly makeup was because if a person agreed to marry her just because she was beautiful, she wouldn't be a decent person. And especially that Yuhu Insen guy can also resist the bewitching gaze skill that only top hunters can do. Old man Goduk heard that and was extremely pleased because he had already kidnapped that Yuhu Insen. Returning to Yuhu Insen, he seemed to have been taken to a place belonging to old man Goduk's family. He did not expect that old man to do such a thing. But this old man summoning soldiers kept looking at Yuhu Insen and drooling. The judge said that they were ordered by old man Goduk to arrest Yuhu Insen. But now they want to defy orders and eat Yuhu Insen. Seeing that this group dared to have intentions with him, Yuhu Insen immediately activated the iron body, needing to teach these brats a lesson. Every punch Yuhu Insen threw was a summoned beast lying on the ground. They were only big, without any strength at all. They couldn't stand even 1 punch. Yuhu Insen realized that among this group of so-called Desoa demons, there were 2 who were disciples of 2 other gods. No wonder old man Goduk was so strong. But he was still just a disciple of the god. He was still a god. With 1 index finger he defeated the demon leader Desoa, leaving only 1 remaining. But that monster came down and asked Yu Insen to forgive them. Yu Insen immediately used his godless eyes to scan through her information. Before turning into the demon Desoa, she was Lilith. She was the daughter of the goddess of desire and desire. The Knight of Lust is a great female demon goddess, but she was defeated by the god of breaking and barely escaped his grasp. But her demon world is about to fall into the snow, and to regain her power, she needs a pure and strong S-class soul. That's why she gave Lilith the evil eye and sent Lilith to the lower world. Then there is the meeting between Lilith and the hunter Goduk. The two then married each other and had a child. After that, Lilith's identity was discovered by the evil dragon of the destroyer god, and she faced death. It turned out that this female demon Desoa in front of Yu Insen was Lilith, Goduk's wife. He turned her into the demon Desoa so they could continue to be together, even if he used this extreme method. Of course, Yu Insen will not harm her anymore, because Yu Insen can see that this is his future follower. Following that could be that old man Goduk, and then his niece. They'll hit 3 targets with 1 arrow. The most important thing is that Yu Insen needs to be stronger. The 2 sisters Sung Miri, Tianma, and now Lilith. Everything is related to that god-breaking god. He needs to quickly get stronger to protect everyone around him. Yu Insen then used his ring finger healing skill to treat all the Desoa demons here. But when Yu Insen finished treating them, their bodies suddenly melted. Yu Insen was surprised. He clearly used the god's healing skill well. Why did this happen? It turned out that they had just gone through the process of transforming from good to evil. The body of the demon Desoa had disappeared, replaced by countless little winged angels appearing, flying in front of Yu Insen. They were grateful for Yu Insen's grace of regeneration. Now they were the heavenly soldiers reborn and bestowed by Yu Insen. At the same time, in a dark, distant place, the goddess of desire Du or Chi De opened her eyes, looked towards the earth and said, "Lilith, traitor, you have finally returned." At the same time, at his home, old man Goduk returned. He did not expect that the kid Yu Insen dared to refuse his offer. What arrogance, but perhaps now that guy has received a proper lesson. That endless crack of his is also known as a miniature hell. Even S-level people who are trapped here have to leave. Then when he opened the crack to enter, he saw Yu Insen and countless heavenly soldiers flying out in front of him. Surprisingly, Yu Insen had no injuries at all. And he also did not feel the aura of his Yaksha army. What did Yu Insen do to his army? And also Lilith, when he could no longer feel his wife's presence, he became crazy, grabbed Yu Insen's neck and shouted to return Lilith to me. Yu Insen told him that this was going on for a long time, so let me go and treat his illness first. But he seemed to have lost his temper and couldn't talk. Yu Insen intended to knock this old man unconscious, then treat him first. But before Yu Insen could do anything, old man Goduk clutched his chest and screamed in pain. At this time, Lilith in the form of an angel flew in front of Goduk. She said that she had been reincarnated by Yu Insen, and now she didn't have to stay in the endless rift and could come out here. But Goduk's body was still in constant pain. Lilith turned to Yu Insen and begged him to treat Goduk. This is also the time when Lilith's untold story is revealed, the day Lilith died and was later reborn. It was also the day that Goduk was cursed and fell prey to the goddess of desire, Du Hao Chi De. She was angry because her daughter betrayed her because of her love for a human. In the name of the great demon goddess, she gave Lilith a prophecy that her man would experience terrible pain and have his body torn to pieces. Yu Insen then used the god's powerful index finger, only to see the curse mark on old man Goduk's body gradually break and then disappear. Right after that, a scream that shook the whole room came from afar. This was definitely the scream of the goddess of desire Du Hao Chi De. She was angry that a lowly god dared to touch her sacrifice. Yu Insen could see that she was 690,000 years old, once a god and now an egoless being. So similar to the previous name Fire Lion, he was also a god. Yu Insen immediately jumped out of the building, unleashed a heavenly demon strike that slashed straight at her. That attack did not seem to be very effective. She was angry that a lower-class god dared to attack her. She was once in existence that even lower-class gods did not dare to look directly at. Yet today, when such a person actively attacked her, she decided to let Yu Huinsen know her true form. Then she suddenly transformed, her whole body suddenly became unusually large, especially her face looked extremely hideous, true to the name of a goddess. According to Tien Dao Tuat Thiat, to stop this is very simple, just kill old man Goduk. Because he has now become the medium that helps the goddess of desire, Du Hao Chi De, enter the earth. When he died, she certainly wouldn't be able to continue moving towards earth, but Yu Huinsen couldn't do that. It's true that she used to be very strong, and was once an existence that was on par with the breaking god, but that was a thing of the past. Now she has passed away and has become much weaker. After Yu Huinsen became a low-level god, his holy power became much greater. Now he can activate 2 followers' skills at once. Iron Chi body and spiritual attack performed at the same time. Yu Huinsen's punch was able to punch through her attack and then punch straight into the goddess's face. While she was stunned, Yu Huinsen immediately used the god's powerful index finger skill, quickly closing the space rift. But she was able to reach out her hand to stop this. From her mouth a beam of red energy shot out to attack Yu Huinsen. That attack was able to knock Yu Huinsen to the ground. He had to admit that this old woman was much stronger than the previous fire lion, but Yu Huinsen was different now. Yu Huinsen immediately activated the dual title of demon god, taste the power of the god of good and evil. Followed by a direct punch right into the face of the goddess of desire, Lu Hao Chi De. She screamed unwillingly, why could a low-level god unleash such great power, punching her to death in terror. Yu Huinsen successfully destroyed the desire of seducing the night, an existence equivalent to 6S rank. The quest to upgrade to an intermediate god reached 20 out of 100. At this time, Goduk was still in pain. According to Lilith, the goddess had disappeared but the curse still remained, begging Yu Huinsen to save him. The old man and his wife successfully reunited. Lilith no longer had to spend her whole life as a Desoa demon and could only live in the crack. This was a beautiful ending for them. Yu Huinsen also successfully had 2 more followers, Lilith and Goduk. The number was now 12 out of 100. A few days later, in a vicinity of the Brazilian Amazon, a seemingly powerful crocodile monster was discussing an attack plan with the priestess. She was extremely angry when the entire army of 5 billion insects along with 3 of God's followers were all destroyed. If she returns, she will definitely be killed by the emperor. She needs to use this crocodile to kill that nameless god and bring his head back to the emperor. The monster in front of her seemed to be one of the 100 eggs that had hatched before. It was also looking for the person who killed its mother to take revenge. Returning to Yu Huinsen, he was dreaming in his sleep. In front of Yu Huinsen was a man with a muscular body. Burly, he is the eternal seeker of truth. He informed Yu Huinsen that an apostle and a clone of the god of destruction had recently awakened. Yu Huinsen needs to overcome the challenges soon to prevent the impending dangers of destruction. It is necessary to quickly complete the task of upgrading to an intermediate god to be eligible to join the Conference of Gods. Yu Huinsen then woke up from his dream. The Seeker of Eternal Truth and the Seeker of Eternal Truth appeared to be 2 brothers as they looked quite similar. This time he entered Yu Huinsen's dream to inform him, it seems like more things will happen in the future. Of course, Yu Huinsen also aims to become a mid-level god as soon as possible. Then, when Lilith saw Yu Huinsen wake up, she announced that she would go call her husband. He said he had something to say to Yu Huinsen when he woke up. Thanks to Lilith, Yu Huinsen had a new passive skill. Yu Huinsen did not know what the heavenly soldiers were doing in the Black Clan's residence. But the number of believers has now increased by 30 million, which is really good news. If you leave the recruitment of followers to those heavenly soldiers, the day when Yu Huinsen has 10 billion followers may not be far away. Yu Huinsen told Lilith that now everything was okay, she could go to Goduk's place so the couple could stay together. But Lilith shook her head and said that as an archangel revived by his mercy, she had a duty to stay by his side and help Yu Huinsen with everything. At this time, there was a noise outside the window. Yu Huinsen looked out and it turned out to be Kui Kim and his friend. These 2 guys were preparing to fight again. It turned out that Kui Kim had left his friend alone on a remote island after he bothered Master Sword Saint. Kui Kim now regretted not having personally sent this guy to heaven at that time. Yu Hu-insen let those two do whatever they want, fighting like that will make them both stronger. After all, those two are friends, so they probably won't fight to the point of killing each other. Yu Hu-insen then went to the cafeteria to enjoy the famous ginseng chicken soup. It was only right that he changed from a writer to a teacher. Here, I didn't expect to be able to eat this dish for free, but people say heaven forbid a meal. Before Yu Hu-insen could take a bite, the demon sword flew from the sky, falling into Yu Hu-insen's dining table, making the bowl of chicken soup go up in smoke. The culprit for the recent incident was the S-level hunter named Xinu, a friend of the demon sword. He entered and loudly said that there was still an unresolved debt with Yu Hu-insen. Last time it was Hunter Sung Mina who broke up the fight, now they will continue the battle. Yu Hu-insen was extremely angry at this time, his mouth was knocked down, this anger needed someone to bear the brunt. And the S-rank hunter Xinu was the chosen one. Yu Hu-insen held the spoon and the child in his hand, activated the Sword of Destruction, the ultimate sword. The demon sword just lay there and chuckled. He would regret having dared to be rude to the sword saint, who was about to witness the pinnacle of swordsmanship. The hunter Xinu looked at Yu Hu-insen like a psychopath who had just run away. Was he planning on using that spoon to fight with him? It turns out that Kui Kim became like this because of being in contact with this ignorant young man for too long. He also used a powerful snake sword attack to fight Yu Hu-insen. Only then did he see the hunter Xinu being tapped on the forehead by Yu Hu-insen at such a speed that he did not understand what had just happened. But this guy didn't shed tears yet when he saw the coffin. Yu Hu-insen decided to beat this guy to death for the crime of ruining his chicken soup. After a minute, Xinu's face became attractive. Each blow was a piece of meat that Yu Hu-insen regretted. Hunter Xinu also admitted at this time that he had underestimated Yu Hu-insen. He did not want to use this move for fear of affecting the people around him. But right now it seems like it won't work if I don't use it. Then a Tai Chi dual sword skill was released. A blue tornado in the middle of the room was summoned. Its after effects made people around unable to open their eyes. He then released a special skill Dragon Fawn, then flew to attack Yu Hu-insen, but boom! His special skill or something disappeared in the blink of an eye with just a spoon in Yu Hu-insen's hand. Then Xinu fell down and fainted. The demon sword now ran to beg the sword saint to spare Xinu's life. After all, they were friends. He knew Xinu was wrong but still had to ask the sword saint to spare that guy's life. Yu Hu-insen had no intention of killing this guy, just taught him a lesson, then used his ring finger to heal. Xinu's whole body quickly recovered. Now that this guy was finally enlightened, it seemed like Yu Hu-insen was about to have another S-rank follower. At this time, outside the door, another stranger stood outside observing Yu Hu-insen's entire recent battle. He immediately took out his phone and said he had to report to the Tam Hung group immediately. Then the young man Xinu knelt before Yu Hu-insen and asked him to accept him as a disciple like the demon sword. But before doing that, Yu Hu-insen wanted to talk about his chicken soup being knocked down. What now? Right after that, Xinu made a phone call, and 2 suitcases full of money were brought in front of Yu Hu-insen right after that. Kui Kim angrily said that he thought Sword Saint was a money-hungry person. You made a big mistake, but before you could finish speaking, Yu Hu-insen sent you out to run 100 laps around the yard. Xinu knew his request was too much. How could anyone accept a person who once intended to kill him as a disciple? But Yu Hu-insen at this moment was as bright as a flower, immediately accepted. Why would I refuse, my friend? But Yu Hu-insen wondered what he could do for an S-rank hunter. He was already too strong. Yu Hu-insen then gave him a skill book called Tai Chi Sword Technique left by Truong Tam Fong. For the price of 20,000 divine coins that Yu Hu-insen bought earlier, Yu Hu-insen conditioned that Xinu master this sword technique and then come here to worship him as a master. Xinu's eyes lit up. This was the martial arts secret of the lost Wudong sect of Chinese history. Unexpectedly, today he would be able to hold it in his own hands, after which he immediately asked permission to return to learn Tai Chi sword art. At this time, behind the schoolyard, a man claiming to be a secret agent at the Hunter Academy branch reported that the person who stole the Hoa Sun sword was named Yu Hu-insen. To get it back, he recommended killing that Yu Hu-insen. At the same time in China, the strongest hunter in China, Xiao Ming, just killed an S-class monster, which was too weak for her. This monster could not satisfy the sword in her hand, Then a masked man came forward to report to her. The three heroes ordered her to kill a Korean Hunter Academy teacher named Yoo In-sun, an SS rank hunter, and bring back the stolen Hoa Sun sword. When Min heard that the target was an SS level hunter, she was extremely excited. Perhaps that guy would be able to satisfy her sword. The sword in her hand is called the soul-stealing sword Achila, a bloodthirsty sword. At the same time, Yoo In-sun was happily carrying 2 suitcases of money to bring home. Kim had also finished running 100 laps, so the 2 young men invited each other to go get some KFC fried chicken. It seems Yoo In-sun's appetite has increased after becoming a lesser god. He alone ate more than 10 chickens, and in addition, thanks to XINU's money, this whole building has now become Yoo In-sun's. From now on, he won't have to worry about money for house repairs or room fees anymore, which is really comfortable. At this time, Yoo In-sun suddenly remembered a new sharing skill he received from Old Man Go-duk when he became a believer, which is the skill of connecting with the demon Yaksha. Just the complete line, the angrier it is, the easier it is to do. Not understanding this skill very well, Yoo In-sun tried using it on the pile of chicken bones he had just finished eating. Then a flash of light appeared. From the bones of the chickens a few chicken bones appeared. They screamed revenge on humans, who had murdered their chickens. A message appeared in front of Yoo In-sun. Do you want to send the newly created Yaksha army to Honeycomb, a new land of the empire? Yoo In-sun didn't know what that beehive was, but it seemed like a suitable place for his Yaksha army. As soon as you accept it, you will be in the monster's residence. Dozens of yakku appeared automatically in the place of the bugs. This is truly the favorite food of the chickens. Yoo In-sun happily watched the chickens sweep away the monster army. The number of tasks automatically increased. The feeling of not having to do anything but still completing the task was very enjoyable. Yoo In-sun remembered the previous conversation with the demon sword. The 3 heroes that the guy XINU kept mentioning before were known to be a heretic. On the surface, they are a hunter guild, but in reality they have spies planted all over the world. They gathered information about hunters who might get in their way and then eliminated them. Qui's sword used to be in there but has now left the organization, so he will most likely be hunted down by them. In addition, Yoo In-sun also wondered if there was anyone in their academy who was the eyes and ears of this group of 3 heroes. According to Kim, all spies do not know each other's identities, so it is very difficult to find the spy. But one thing Kim is sure of is that the Hoa Sun sex swordsmanship that Yoo In-sun possesses originates from the 3 Heroes Guild. Surely they will find a way to kill you and take back this sword technique. At this time, a student stepped in front of Yoo In-sun. He was very surprised to hear that this student was a spy for the Tri-Hung group. He told Yoo In-sun that the organization ordered him to use this talisman to bring the name Yoo In-sun. The organization's master martial artists will take care of the rest. But Yoo In-sun's many appraisal skills could tell that he was a spy. But because this student is a good person, he has no intention of harming Yoo In-sun. It turned out that her mother had been taken hostage by the organization to force the student to carry out the task. Yoo In-sun ordered the demon sword to rescue her mother and bring her to safety. Yoo In-sun hates such despicable behavior the most. He vowed to wipe out this wretched organization. Yoo In-sun decided to let the girl use the talisman they gave him to take him to the organization. Instead of passively attacking, he decided to proactively attack this organization. If they want to meet, I will proactively go there. After the student used the talisman, the 2 of them were transported to another place, not too far away, the mountain right behind the Hunter Academy. As soon as the 2 were defeated, 2 S-rank hunters appeared. This bald master is Ja Urgak, a Shaolin martial arts master who has defeated countless S-rank hunters. And this fierce guy is Pang Newlin, who has also defeated many S-level hunters. They didn't wait for Yoo In-sun to say a word, and immediately became angry because Yoo In-sun dared to steal the lost sword technique of the Hoa Sun sect. The Shaolin disciple was the first to rush forward. A move called Malahan Fist directed at Yoo In-sun. But I only saw Yoo In-sun using the iron body. When the Shaolin disciple's hand punched Yoo In-sun's body, all the bones broke. It was as if he had just punched a 1,000-ton lump of iron. This was the Jia Cha bronze body in the legendary Shaolin temple. Immediately the other guy also swung his sword from behind to sneak attack Yu Insen. But when his sword cut into Yu Insen's body, it also broke itself. Yu Insen praised your swordsmanship combined with lightning skills as well. I also know a lightning skill that I can show you. Then Yu Insen used Sung Miri's skill. Summoning Thunder Town, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky, shaking both the mountain and the nearby Hunter Academy. Only to see later that both of these guys were tied to the corner of a tree by Yu Insen. Without any strength to fight back, they were still very loud. Don't think you've won, very soon the strongest person from the Triad will come here to kill you. While he was still bragging, from behind Yu Insen a girl suddenly appeared. She seems to be the strongest person in the Venerable's mouth. But as soon as she appeared, the first thing she did was swing her sword and kill those two useless guys. To her, useless people don't deserve to live. Yu Insen could also tell that this girl was very strong. Since being promoted to junior god, other hunters have been extremely slow in Yu Insen's eyes. But she is not like that at all. Proves that she has amazing speed. Immediately after that, she swung her sword again and slashed at the student. Traitors will die. Luckily, Yu Insen reacted promptly and blocked her slash with his body. But as soon as the student ran, she appeared next to her. Delivered a fatal blow to the student, causing her to stop breathing on the spot right in front of Yu Insen. Although he tried to use the ring finger healing skill, the student died. So this power is not enough to bring back the dead. Only when you become a high-level god can you be resurrected from the dead. Yu Insen told himself he would give her to Lilith. Wait until I become a high-level god and I will definitely revive you. Yu Insen was extremely angry at this time. He swore that he had to beat two men so that he wouldn't die. Yu Insen immediately activated the iron body combined with the thunderbolt. Push your speed to the limit. Yu Insen rushed forward and gave a powerful punch. She is also very fast. Successfully used the sword to block that powerful punch. She told herself that if she hadn't reacted in time, she would have been seriously injured. This guy is indeed as strong as rumored. Yu Insen compressed all the anger that this girl dared to kill her student into punches. Each shot is a huge miss. Miss Tu-min could only dodge but did not dare to defend against those punches. Tu-min was beaten by a stranger for the first time in his life until his nose bled. She laughed hysterically because this was really fun. The feeling of someone beating her and making her bleed was the first experience in her undefeated life. But she said she's had enough fun with Yu Insen for now. Now she's bored, so she'll start getting serious. Only to see her suddenly disappear. This speed Yu Insen's eyes could not keep up with. She then jumped down from above and threw a kick at Yu Insen. Even though she's just a girl with a small body, the force of her kick is extremely strong. A bagua cage was created by her to trap Yu Insen inside. She asked Yu Insen to return everything she had stolen from the Huashan sect. Then it will give you a quick death. Yu Insen immediately activated the titles of Evil God and Good God. Then the test passes the middle finger to the god's verdict. That red barrier was instantly blown away. Although she was quite surprised that Yu Insen could break her barrier, she still did not hesitate to proactively attack. Next is a Toa Tien Achula move. She was so fast that it looked like she was splitting into countless swords and slashing straight at Yu Insen. Respond to this attack. Yu Insen just slightly raised his finger. This little bit probably won't make any difference, right? Then the god's power was unleashed. A giant fireball hit Tu-min directly. The aftershock of the explosion made the guards below the academy think the sun was rising earlier than expected. I saw that after that attack, Tu-min no longer held the sword. She looked at Yu Insen with a passionate look, then shouted, "I love you, master." A notification appears. You have shown the power and obsession of God. Tu-min became an avid follower of yours. Tu-min's value is equal to 5S levels. Yu Insen wondered why everyone was so obedient after being beaten. Why not be like that from the beginning? Yu Insen then ordered Miss Tu Min to take him to her superiors. He will personally go to the headquarters of the three heroes. But Tu Min's whole body was seriously injured at this time and could not move. Yu Insen could only use his healing ring finger to treat her. In just a moment, her injuries were completely healed. At this time at the headquarters of the Three Heroes Association, a man named Tun Nan was reading a report that Tu Min had betrayed the organization and sided with Yu Insen. They are planning to target the Tam Hung organization. One of them, named Swordsman, said that it seemed that Yu Insen had holy power. The remaining person, named Gwyn Nan, said that he was still just a low-class god. They will kill that bastard along with Tu Min. These three people are known as Tam Kyat, the three supreme leaders who have headed the Tam Hung Association for the past 500 years. Right after that, Tu Min walked in from outside the door. "Are you guys looking for me? My master is also looking for you, so I brought him here to meet you." Right after that, Yu Insen stepped in. For the first time, Yu Insen's appraisal skill was blocked because the opponent possessed a skill to prevent information investigation. But it doesn't matter, Yu Insen's purpose today is to destroy this Tri-Hung group. Those three people immediately stood up and fought over who would be the first to arrive. After a while, the one who decided to take the lead was Gwyn Nan. He and his body were gone. Burly but possessing extremely fast speed. He unleashed a white bow divine fist and punched Yu Insen from outside the door to the yard. That's what the Gwyn Nan said, and he was sent flying. Looks like they overestimated Yu Insen. If you're so weak in love and dare to come here, it seems like you're looking for death. Yu Insen wondered what their move was just now. The distance between the two was very far, yet he could rush and punch me without having time to react. At this moment, Tien Dao Tuat Thiat announced that he had finished repairing Yu Insen's kitchen knife. He will send it to Yu Insen. Tianma then spoke up and told Yu Insen that he needed to be careful with these three people, because all three of them were gods. Gwyn Nan also recognized Tianma. According to Tianma, these three guys were afraid of the god of destruction, so they ran away to Earth. Not only that, they also massacred the people under their rule. They sacrifice people to provide themselves with strength. Even though he is a god, his behavior is like that of animals. Yu Insen absolutely hates people who use people as sacrifices. He immediately activated the binomial skill Tien Demon God. Just as he was about to cut, Tien Mai immediately stopped Yu Insen. Yu Insen could not fight against Bakbo than fist with that move. If you're unlucky, you'll get anaphylactic reaction. Tien Ma reminded Yu Insen of what he wrote in the martial arts book. Tuat Din swordsmanship is to give up the sword itself, surpass humanity, split the sky, cut mountains in half. The fist will then be stronger than the sword. Yu Insen decided to give it a try and see what that fist that was stronger than a sword was really like. Activate the advanced skill of the iron body, called the infinite iron body. Seeing this, Gwyn Nan also activated the skill Vajra Indestructible. The two will now officially compete to see whose body is stronger. In response to Gwyn Nan, Yu Insen also unleashed the Heavenly Demon Breaking Heavenly Fist, a powerful punch straight into Gwyn Nan's face. Punch him to crack his mask and then fly straight inside to where the two sword men and Tanan are. Those two guys were quite surprised that this Yu Insen could actually defeat Gwyn Nan. Yu Insen wondered why the notification window hadn't appeared yet. Could it be that an all-out attack just now wasn't effective? Of course it is. Then the Gwyn Nan stood up. He said that this Yu Insen had inherited all of Tien Ma's martial arts, perhaps all three of them needed to act at once. Tien Ma immediately told Yu Insen to run away. He couldn't fight those three people at once. They have absorbed many sacrifices over the past 500 years. If they play in a group of three at once, the only outcome will be death. But in response to Tien Ma, Yu Insen said that he would not run away like they did in the past when meeting the god of destruction. He will fight to the end like he did before. But those three are after all three people who have gone through countless battles and absorbed countless sacrifices over the past time. Yu Insen was still just a subordinate at this time. Facing all three at once is impossible. Yu Insen was quickly cornered by all three men. continuously taking blows until he vomited blood. The moment all three of them rushed forward at once, Yu Huinsen used the God's Judgment middle finger skill to create a huge explosion. But that attack could only slightly injure them and break the masks of all three. After the mask cracks, the appraisal skill works again. Yu Huinsen learned that these three names were Fallen God of Fist, Fallen of Spear God, and Fallen of Sword God. They were once great gods in the Nirvana realm. But then he was destroyed by the God of Destruction, so he fled to Earth. Now they have also restored themselves to being a god. Two of them said that this guy is also quite strong. That's why he was able to defeat the God of Power alone. Since they killed a loyal servant in their previous life, this was the first time someone had taken off the masks of all three. But that's all. Then all three rushed to attack Yu Huinsen. After a series of attacks, Yu Huinsen was now lying flat on the ground, falling into an unconscious state. While the three gods were still dividing Yu Huinsen's body parts, a message appeared that had enough conditions to activate the flowers to bloom at night. A giant carnivorous flower grew from the middle of Yu Huinsen's belly. They were amazed at the power of this flower. With this kind of power, it can only be a divine beast. The three assigned each other tasks. Just kill the summoner and these flowers will disappear. The swordsman will be the one in charge of killing Yu Huinsen. And Gwen Nan and the Venerable will distract that flower. At the same time, Yu Huinsen opened his eyes and found himself in a very strange space. In front of him was Inho, who was completely injured. It seemed he had just defeated a monster named Wu Shuwei and offered it to Yu Huinsen as a sacrifice. That Wu Shuwei monster was worth as much as 11 S-rank hunters. Immediately afterwards, Yu Huinsen's power skyrocketed by absorbing Inho's tribute. The intermediate god quest has also reached 34 out of 100. Next to Inho, there was also the appearance of a small spirit. She hugged Inho and kept calling for her father. The examination told Yu Huinsen that it was the fairy queen. The incarnation of the good god. When he was dying, Inho saved his life. Give this fairy spirit a name and a miracle will happen. Yu Huinsen then used his ring finger to heal all of Inho's injuries. After that, Yu Huinsen gave the queen the name Anna. Anna then officially became a follower of Yu Huinsen. She has the same value as 11 S-rank hunters. Another huge stream of power flooded into Yu Huinsen's body. Now he remembered that he was in a battle with three gods of the Triad. The bastards had murdered his students and had eaten millions of human sacrifices. He needed to hurry back and beat these three bastards up. Yu Huinsen then opened his eyes just as the swordsman was about to slash him. Meanwhile, the two names Vo Nan and Gwyn Nan are struggling to fend off this terrible flower. Yu Huinsen thanked Mong Votan for protecting him during the time he was unconscious. Now he will handle this whole thing. The other three were extremely happy to see this Yu Huinsen recover that carnivorous flower monster. They were only afraid of that thing and didn't put Yu Huinsen in their eyes. But Yu Huinsen has now returned with a new position. A huge leap forward compared to Yu Huinsen a few minutes ago. The swordsman intended to sneak attack from behind, but Yu Huinsen was able to easily block his slash with ease. They realized that this guy had become unusually strong. Could it be that he went to sleep just now to eat the sacrifice in his dream? Yu Huinsen immediately displayed the power of his thumb, calling out his handsome self. Just as he was about to greet the main body, he said, "Don't give me orders." The original even criticized Yu Huinsen for being a bit stupid for making an original. But it still praised Yu Huinsen for being much stronger than the previous meeting. Not bad at all. The essence then parted ways in front of Yu Huinsen. He thought it wanted to shake hands and make peace. Being cursed by the main body again. He said, "Give me the sword. You asked me to fight without giving me a weapon." Then the Great War continued. Now it will be a 3-on-2 battle. The main body was assigned the task of fighting Tun Nan. With just one sword, his body was able to cut Tun Nan's body in half. But he quickly reconnected his body. It turns out he is the reincarnation of Red Fire. Using a sword to cut through the fire is impossible. But that guy suddenly couldn't recover. Because the sword in the main body's hand is the heavenly devil divine sword. Previously, this sword had also killed an existence, the sun god. So what is this guy's fire? Heavenly Demon's second sword style. Heavenly Demon Great Hell was unleashed by the main body. One sword killed Tun Nan. Sun Nan is an existence equal to 20 S-rank hunters. The intermediate god becoming quest has reached 60 out of 100. The fight now becomes 2-on-2 again. The two teammates could only stand and watch the scene of Tun Nan being killed in blindness without being able to do anything. They admitted that they despised this low-class god. Now they will use that. I only saw the Gwyn Nan put his hands on the sword man's body. They share their power with each other to create a powerful attack. A purple attack was launched straight towards Yuhu Insen and his body. I only saw Yuhu Insen use one finger to launch the Hoa Sun Sword technique, easily repelling the attacks of the other two men. Right at the moment they were surprised and cursed at Yuhu Insen as a skill thief, both Yuhu Insen and his body rushed towards them. The main body used the second Heavenly Demon Saint Sword technique to blow off the swordsman's head. As for Yuhu Insen, he uses lightning combined with iron body. Tianma Iron Chi Fist punched Gwyn Nan straight in the stomach. Gwyn Nan and Sword Nan are two existences with 40 S-rank hunters. The quest to upgrade to an intermediate level demon god has been completed. Yuhu Insen officially became an intermediate demon god. The main body then ordered Chu Min to deal with all the monsters in this place and bring the S-level hunters to me. Anyone who resisted would be killed without mercy. Chu Min obeyed. This is the ideal owner model in her heart. Then the main body returned Yuhu Insen's sword and did not forget to remind a loser like you not to die. If you die, I'll die too, so try to be stronger. Yuhu Insen then told Chu Min they needed to go somewhere. That is the hospital where the student's mother was just killed by Chu Min. Yuhu Insen visited her and paid all her hospital bills. As for Chu Min, Yuhu Insen forced him to kneel there without getting up. Yuhu Insen didn't know how to tell the truth to her mother, so she just lied to her and said that she was still doing well at school. Yuhu Insen fell into a state of guilt. He blamed himself for not being able to protect the students for making things like this. So, what's the point of being a good god? Become an evil god. At this time, the god of endless wealth spoke up and reminded Yuhu Insen not to give up being a good god. You can do the quest in exchange for the resurrection potion. A mission was launched to accumulate 10 million merits in exchange for a resurrection potion. Yuhu Insen was happy when he could find a way to save that student. While at the hospital, he used his ring finger to heal all the patients there. Then he went everywhere. Wherever monsters appeared, Yuhu Insen would appear and destroy them. But after working well all day, I only got 2,500 merits out of 10 million. Tu Ming then told Yuhu Insen that the other day Yuhu Insen ordered her to eliminate the remnants of the three heroes. So she asked Yuhu Insen for permission to attack those people. A few days later at Yuhu Insen's apartment complex, he returned from a few hard days in China. As soon as I returned, I immediately went to the hospital to do charity work to save people, so I was quite tired now. The Sung Miri sisters are also here. They just went to the supermarket to buy Yuhu Insen a bunch of sports clothes for him to wear gradually. Then Sung Miri received a phone call from the association saying there was an urgent matter. She immediately left, leaving Yuhu Insen and her sister behind. Yuhu Insen then asked Sung Mina how long she planned to pretend to be insane. Thanks to the appraisal, Yuhu Insen realized that she had recovered from her memory loss a long time ago. It turned out that she was still pretending to be insane to take care of her sister. Sung Mina threatened Yuhu Insen not to say a word to her sister. Mina then said that there was something she wanted to ask Yuhu Insen, which was to ask him to protect someone. Recently, a lot of creative hunters disappeared without reason, and the Hunter Association is still hiding this fact without announcing it. So the S-rank creative hunter Kong Wu reached out through the association and asked Yuhu Insen to be his protector. Creative hunters inherently have the ability to open item shops with random equipment, so it's understandable that their strength is quite weak even at S rank. According to the intelligence Sun Mina received, 2 S-class bodyguards of an American S-class hunter were found dead this morning. That hunter also disappeared after that. Italy also has a similar situation, so the association is trying to find an S-rank or higher bodyguard to protect Hunter Kong-woo. Both Xinu and Old Man Goduk recommended Yu Hu-insen, so they approved Yu Hu-insen to be Kong-woo's bodyguard. Yu Hu-insen of course could not refuse this. He also wanted to use this to further investigate the information he was told to eternally search for the truth reminded before. It's possible that the awakening of the God of Destruction's followers and this matter are related. Later at Kong-woo's personal villa, Yu Hu-insen was there to protect him. With appraisal, Yu Hu-insen can see some information such as Kong-woo is 52 years old. Under the protection of the Fire Guardian God and the Blacksmith God, at the same time, but when it gets there are question marks behind. Yu Hu-insen didn't expect him to look so young, but he's already over 50 years old, and what are the question marks behind that? Why couldn't he see all the information? Kong-woo wondered why there was someone else, and Yu Hu-insen replied that because he couldn't be on duty the entire 24 hours, he brought along his confidant, Demon Sword. He is also an S rank, so he is very strong. Kong-woo also responded that the bodyguard also needed to rest. He did not object to Yu Hu-insen bringing another person. He then said that he wanted to go to the bathroom, so he left Yu Hu-insen and Demon Sword behind. Yu Hu-insen realized he was still quite relaxed in this place, not realizing the seriousness of the creative hunters around the world. As soon as he entered the bathroom, Kong-woo stood in front of the mirror and wondered if the final score had appeared, but he himself had no memory of this variable at all. Suddenly, a black foreign object appeared from the mirror, then a monster suddenly appeared. It smiled and said, "Here you are, S-class creative hunter." Kong-woo immediately summoned the Aegis shield to fend off the monster's attack. Soon Yu Hu-insen also appeared and punched the crocodile monster away. Both were surprised that this monster actually possessed a sword, which was an item that could only be purchased from the shop of creative hunters. The crocodile monster also realized that the person in front of him was the man who murdered his mother, and he vowed to peel off Yu Hu-insen's bones to avenge his mother. Yu Hu-insen guessed that maybe this one was Crocodile's brother, maybe he didn't need to take action. Immediately hand over this monster to Quikin to handle. Quikin wants to show Yu Hu-insen his progress in recent times. The demon sword, with its agile movements, jumped back and forth, flexibly avoiding all of the monster's slashes. Then the demon sword launched a slash, but this monster was equipped with a full helmet, so the slash did not reach blood. Yu Hu-insen on this side was already yawning, admitting that the demon sword had made progress, but now he was very sleepy. Quickly end it, demon sword. Next to Kong-woo, I don't understand how this guy can still yawn in this situation, and even force that guy to quickly deal with a monster that could be an SS rank. It's crazy. The monster was angry because the enemy killed his mother right in front of him, but he couldn't do anything, so he decided to play the kamikaze card. From the crocodile's mouth it pulled out a magic bomb. It screamed that if it can't do anything to you, we'll both die. Just the moment the crocodile moved its finger to activate the bomb, its head was severed. Then I saw that Yu Hu-insen already had the pork chopping knife and the bomb in his hand. Then Yu Hu-insen brought the bomb in front of Kong-woo and asked him, "What exactly are you? Aren't you a fake regression from the future?" Right now, deep in the Amazon jungle, the priestess is planning a plan to take advantage of these crocodile monsters. She just spread rumors of revenge and they came one after another. Besides, countless creative hunters were kidnapped by them and were hanging them up. The monsters forced these creative hunters to open a shop so they could choose powerful weapons. The huge monster behind the priestess was named Alpha. It seems to be the strongest, hatched from 100 eggs. It realized that another of its brothers was killed by that Yu Hu-insen. First their mother, now they are brothers. He swore that he would never forgive that bastard Yu Hu-insen. It told the priestess that she needed to buy more powerful equipment to be able to kill that god Yu Hu-insen. The priestess told Alpha that she could provide as many weapons as she wanted. And she has a perfect plan to kill that Yu Hu-insen because she knows his weakness. Returning to the creative hunter Kongwu, he was amazed at Yu Huinsen's recognition of his special status. Because Yu Huinsen had the eye skill of a blind god, he was able to glimpse the life of hunter Kongwu. In his previous life, Kongwu received blessings from the guardian of fire and the blacksmith, and he was given the power to prevent the destruction of the breaking god. Although it was impossible, Kongwu was gifted with the ability to unlock the hunter shop and the ability to regress. Initially, Kongwu combined with other S-rank hunters to defeat people like Ayahan, the crocodile monster. But when they faced the three gods of the Triad, they were brutally murdered, after which Kongwu returned. So the second time, the third time, and he won the Triad but could not prevent the extinction of the earth due to the second pull of the abyss current. When Kongwu opened his eyes, it was the fourth and final regression. He no longer had the will to fight after witnessing the power of that army of destruction. A destructive outcome is inevitable. Yu Huinsen could see this guy Kongwu regress 3 times and tried his best to protect the earth from destruction. Kongwu was also surprised that this Yu Huinsen guy could see even his previous regressions. Yu Huinsen did not appear in his previous lives. In this life, it was Yu Huinsen who stopped people like Ayahan, the crocodile monster. Of the 3 heroes, Kongwu saw immense power similar to holy magic when the guardian of fire empowered him. Surely Yu Huinsen will be the one to accomplish what Kongwu has not been able to do. Kongwu asked Yu Huinsen if he could stop the destruction of the earth. Yu Huinsen realized the opportunity to gain another S-rank credit had arrived. Even if he doesn't ask, he will do it anyway. What a good opportunity to earn more trust. It was then announced that Kongwu had become a temporary follower of Yu Huinsen. His value is equivalent to 10 S-rank hunters. After Yu Huinsen fulfilled Kongwu's wish, he would be truly faithful. At that time the value will double. According to Kongwu, the next person who wants to destroy the earth is the monster Alpha. One of the 100 monster eggs has been hatched. At this moment, a series of warnings appeared in front of Yu Huinsen. A great demon god wants revenge on you. If we don't stop him, the world will be destroyed. After receiving this notice, Yu Huinsen was extremely surprised. If it was a great demon god, it probably wouldn't be that Alpha. Could it be the dragon from the previous disaster? Yu Huinsen then told Kongwu to show him the location of that Alpha. We need to deal with that monster quickly before the real great danger comes. Then the hunter Xinu was also called by Yu Huinsen. Both Kim and Xinu were assigned to protect the safety of hunter Kongwu while Yu Huinsen went to fight the Alpha crocodile. These 2 idiots immediately started quarreling with each other, arguing that they were stronger than the other. Yu Huinsen was angry and threatened these 2 men. From now on, if the 2 of you continue to argue in front of him, all previously given items will be taken back. Hearing that, the 2 guys immediately bowed their heads to the ground and asked the Sword Saint to forgive them. I was crazy for once. At the same time inside the tower, the Ilo ant was still diligently climbing the tower. At this point, it has successfully climbed to the 41st floor of the tower. After defeating the boss, the wolf immediately sacrificed this finished product to Yu Huinsen. In addition, after completing this level, Ilo also receives a sword. This is the sword that once belonged to the one who pursued the eternal truth. Ilo then held the sword and was immediately teleported to the 42nd floor. This place is a hot desert. Above its head, 2 suns coexist. Its mission is to rescue the water goddess who has been weakened by the burning of 2 suns. Back to Yu Huinsen, he was about to go to sleep to practice in his dream when the phone rang. It turned out that Ilo was asking for his help. Next to Ilo is a girl who was reported to be a follower of the water goddess. Ilo said that its mission was to destroy the sun, but even though it did everything, it couldn't do anything about these 2 suns. Yu Huinsen realized that he could not use his blind god's eyes to judge either of these 2 suns. If so, it would be as strong or stronger than Yu Huinsen and be a general god level. Could this sun be related to the warning that Yu Huinsen received earlier? Then 3 phoenixes, the holy beasts of flames shining high in the sky, appeared. Yu Huinsen realized that it was indeed so. This son is the brother of the fire lion that Yu Insen killed before. These phoenixes intend to capture Ilo to sacrifice. They were SS-class monsters, so Ilo definitely couldn't defeat them. Even if Yu Insen intervenes inside the tower now, he will be subject to karmic punishment. But he didn't care, he couldn't let Ilo die. Yu Insen then used his powerful index finger to kill those phoenixes. Immediately a notification appears with fire shining in the sky and you have joined the home army. You will be taken to the burning temple. After being destroyed and transferred to the place, in front of Yu Insen was the man known as the fire shining in the sky. It told Yu Insen that young god, the one who dares to kill my brothers, apostles, and even my holy beasts, give Ilo half of your holy magic to me. Then I will generously forgive you and take you under my wing. Tian Dao Ti Thiat told Yu Insen that taking another god under his command will make that person stronger than absorption. Yu Insen knew right away that this bird certainly didn't have any good intentions. But Yu Insen pointed straight at it and said he wanted me to sacrifice Ilo to you. Do you believe that I will make you a quail stir-fried with chile salad, you damn bird? When the bird heard that, he became angry. If a mid-level god like you dares to use such words to mock a high-ranking god like me, you will have to die for your crime. Then that bird let out a scream towards Yu Insen. Even though the iron body was activated, Yu Insen's whole body still suffered countless damage. It is impossible not to admit that this firebird is too strong. But no matter what, Yu Insen will not betray his followers and sacrifice them to others. At the same time, Yu Insen also received a warning that Ilo was in danger. Currently, Ilo has not yet found a way to use the sun. Yet another monster appeared. It claims to be the sister of the three-headed snake that was previously killed by Yu Insen. It comes here to be conservative. At the same time, on the black side, Ugly and the Holy Maiden were standing in front of the citadel eating food. At this moment, a tornado rushed in front of them. Then there were countless red crocodiles rushing to attack the citadel. Ugly told the holy woman to quickly tell all the people to run away from here, otherwise they would all die. Those monsters wanted to take the opportunity that Yu Insen was facing the sun god to kill all of his disciples so that Yu Insen would lose all of his power. Immediately after that, a series of announcements about Yu Insen's followers being killed one after another. The heavenly army is no exception. Ilo is also in danger on the 42nd floor. Yu Insen's holy power is decreasing more and more. Yu Insen decided to go all in with this bird. He immediately used the god's powerful thumb to summon the essence. As soon as the handsome self appeared, it told Yu Insen that he already understood the situation. It will be here blocking this bird's feet. Yu Insen quickly returned to the black tribe to rescue his followers. Hearing that, Yu Insen was extremely moved. For the first time, this real guy didn't argue with him but actually took the initiative. Yu Insen then immediately teleported to rescue the Black Clan. As for the main body, it just scolds you for taking it away. Today I will pluck your eyebrows and make soup. Even so, the body could only barely resist the bird's powerful attacks. It can only hope that Yu Insen quickly resolves everything before it disappears. Return to the Black Clan. UG along with the heavenly soldiers are trying to fight back. But those crocodile monsters were too numerous and powerful. UG is considered a traitor by them. Lin did not hesitate to strike until all the blood was gone. The monsters had now stepped forward and were ready to kill the saint. Yu Insen was now powerless to teleport to the Black Clan. Due to using summoning essence, his holy power was not enough to forcibly teleport to the Black Clan. At this moment, a pleading voice rang out in Yu Insen's head, belonging to UG. It was seriously injured and was crying, begging Yu Insen to come and rescue the saint. At this time, the small miracle in Yu Insen's previous mission activated. You can evolve Ugly into a dragon divine beast. Is it possible to evolve? Yu Insen then agreed to evolve. Ugly, I leave all the Black Clan in your hands. Just when the saint was about to be swallowed by the monster, her arm was cut off. The person who saved the saint was Ug. Now it has evolved into a dragon beast, growing a pair of wings on its back. The value of Ugly right now is 20s level hunters. Alpha was angry and cursed at the traitor. Although the priest advised Alpha to return because Ug had become different now, Alpha did not listen. It decided to kill Ug. Ugly was also angry because his brother dared to touch the trust of Yu Insen and especially the saint. It unleashes a dragon's breath move. One wheezing blow blew away Alpha's eyes. Ugly successfully prevents the destruction of the Black Clan. Yu Insen's holy power is returning and increasing rapidly thanks to the evolution of Ugly. Yu Insen then used his ring finger to heal all the injuries of those previously injured. At the same time, Ug's evolutionary form is also eliminated. It turns out that it can only evolve for a certain period of time, not forever. Back to the battle between the body and the bird. It is crowing that one day it will stand at the top. Even great evil gods like Mong Votan or Tien Dao Tuat Thiat will tremble before it. As long as Yu Insen obediently becomes its subordinate, it will spare his life. The main body immediately told it that if you can kill the breaking god, then I will consider becoming your subordinate. It heard the name Fa then and immediately became afraid. The breaking god has been a mysterious existence since the beginning. Even the greatest god cannot do anything to destroy God. How dare he attack Fa then? Returning to the 42nd floor of the tower, Ilo was now seriously injured. It was beaten all over its body by the heat of the two suns and the monster in front of it. While it was at its most desperate, a voice rang out. Ilo quickly opened its mouth. Suddenly a bottle of growth liquid flew straight into its mouth. After Yu Insen threw the potion to Ilo, a notification appeared. Ilo has leveled up and become stronger, received a new skill to become giant, plus 30 health for the summoned beast, haha. I just saw that Ilo had become unusually large at this time. It was so big from a coconut ant that the monster had to raise its head to look up at Ilo's body. Every day he worshipped Yu Insen more and more, constantly helping him when he was in a death situation. It vowed to become even stronger and pay Yu Insen lots of sacrifices to help Yu Insen. Then I saw Ilo raise his foot and stomp it flat. The monster died. Squeezing it under its feet, Ilo also successfully broke the seal, water gushing out from under its feet like rain. Returning to its original self, the bird was now extremely angry when it saw its entire plan fail right before its eyes. Even so, the body ridiculed him as having a bird's brain smaller than a grape. It was now angry to the limit, deciding to show Yu Insen the true power of a high-ranking god. Only later did I see that on the black side, or in the tower where Ilo was, or outside the earth, the sun above was radiating a terrible heat. It wants to destroy all three worlds where the followers of Yu Insen gather. At this moment, behind Ilo, a woman appeared. She seemed to be the water goddess in Ilo's 42nd floor mission. Thanks to Ilo destroying the monster, she was able to awaken. She gave Ilo a water bow and told him to shoot the giant sun with this bow. She has an arrow that can hurt even the sun god. As for the earth side, Yu Insen also returned here and took out his fruit knife. At this moment, a notification appeared that 2 men had successfully preached, and the remnants of the Tam Hung group became your followers except O Duong Fong. Yu Insen increased a lot of holy power. The time has come. Yu Insen and Tien Ma decided to join forces. Let's split the sun in half one more time.